Warrior Lore. Chapter 4015. Huh? Wang Xian was astonished when he heard Qilin Bull's words. He could sense it directly. As long as he devoured the other party, he would be able to break through? Why would you sense it? Wang Xian asked Qilin Bull, slightly surprised. I didn't understand it in the past, but now I understand a little. Qilin Bull's eyes sparkled. The Demon Hunter King is no longer himself. He has been invaded, and what has invaded him is the will of Aya Sky Demon God. The main reason why we were able to cultivate to this level is because we were born on the flesh and blood of Aya Sky Demon God. In other words, we were born from his flesh and blood. Now that we have this feeling in our minds, there is only one possibility for the Demon Hunter King to be invaded by Aya Sky Demon God across the barrier of the universe. Aya Sky Demon God has fallen, completely fallen. His fall gives us the feeling that we can break through as long as we devour the other party. Because the barrier before us has disappeared, we can also advance to the creation realm. Qilin Bull shared his speculation with Wang Xian. When Wang Xian heard this, his face was filled with astonishment. The birth of creation realm wasn't something that could happen just because one wanted to. The number of creation realm experts that could be born in a universe was limited, just like the 9 sources universe. Once a water attribute expert advanced to the creation of sky origin stage, other water attribute experts would never be able to step into the creation of sky origin stage. Unless this water attribute expert died, they would not be able to escape. Otherwise, there would be no more creation realm experts of the same attribute. In the 9 sources universe, there were 9 attributes. In other words, only 9 creation realm experts could be born. Of course, there was another type, and that was the combination of attributes. For example, the yin and yang attribute. If one cultivated the light and darkness attribute at the same time, they would be able to enter the divine creation realm by cultivating both attributes at the same time. However, the difficulty of advancing to the creation realm by cultivating 2 attributes was twice as difficult as cultivating 1 attribute. Don't underestimate the difficulty. Currently, there were no 9 creation realm experts in the 9 sources universe. From this, one could see how difficult it was. There was also a second way to advance to the creation realm. For example, there were fire attribute creation realm experts in the 9 sources universe. However, in the sword and magic universe, there was no fire-type heaven's origin creation. In that case, fire-type experts from the 9 essences universe could come to the sword and magic universe to make their breakthroughs. That was possible. The reason why the cataclysm was so brutal was because of the Great Tribulation. In fact, every time the cataclysm began, countless living beings in the universe would perish. This was one of the most important reasons. This was the quota for breaking through. Countless universe experts fought for the quota. This was the reason why so many peak sovereign realm experts were fighting crazily. He wanted to break through. He wanted a spot. Because of this, blood flowed like rivers and the universe dimmed. If those powerful cosmoses wanted to make their own cosmos even more powerful, they would have to annihilate and subdue the life forms in that cosmos. He ordered his subordinates, his heirs, and his disciples to use this quota to complete their promotion. The Qilin Bulls and the others possessed many different attributes. The energy within his body was incomparably violent. With 2 or 3 types of energy in their bodies, it was basically impossible for them to break through. Another thing was that they were born from the flesh and blood of the fortune of heaven. How could a creature born from the flesh and blood of the fortune of heaven realm advance to the fortune of heaven realm? This was impossible. No matter how great the opportunity was, it was impossible for them to break through. The only thing was that the heavenly origin fortune realm cultivator had perished. With the barrier in front of them gone, they could advance further. Moreover, it would be easier for them to take this step compared to other experts. It would be easier for them to advance to the fortune of heaven realm. This was also why the Qilin Bulls and the others felt that as long as they devoured the other party, they would be able to break through. If one of you devoured the other party completely in the end, would you really be able to advance to the fortune of heaven realm? Wang Xian asked Qilin Bull. The possibility is high. Qilin Bull nodded and guessed that Aya Sky demonic god seemed to have sensed that he might perish during the previous cataclysm. Therefore, He left a seed in the body of the demon hunter king. After he perished, he completely occupied the body of the demon hunter king. He wanted to devour us, reincarnate, and step into the fortune of heaven realm. Wang Xian was slightly shocked when he heard this. Was the fortune of heaven realm that terrifying? He had predicted that he might perish and therefore set a trap. He wanted to be reincarnated. He wanted to step into the fortune of heaven realm again. Moreover, as long as he devoured the rotten bird and Qilin bull, he might be able to break through completely in no time. It was truly terrifying. In that case, if you devoured the rotten bird and the demon hunter king, you might also be able to break through to the fortune of heaven realm? Wang Xian remained silent for a few minutes. His eyes flickered as he looked at Qilin bull and asked, "The possibility is high. The barrier in front of us has disappeared. Among the three of us, whoever cultivates faster will be able to advance to the fortune of heaven realm. However, the balance has been broken. The demon hunter king has become the Aya sky demonic god. Moreover, the rotten bird has been killed by him. His strength will increase exponentially, and it will be hard for me to catch up." Qilin bull answered. Wang Xian fell silent when he heard this. This Aya sky demonic god was very strong. Even before he devoured the rotten bird, Wang Xian would not even be able to keep his life if he fought him with the help of the fortune of heaven realm fragment, unless he broke through once more. As long as he broke through again, he might be able to kill the Aya sky demonic god. However, if he wanted to break through again, he would need to consume too many resources. "Oh yes, you mentioned that there are still treasures in your lair. Are there many treasures?" Wang Xian asked Qilin bull. "There are many. My territory is huge, and there are many treasures." Qilin bull nodded and looked ahead. "It's right in front. That's my lair. I hope you won't kill me. Spare my life." As he spoke, he looked at Wang Xian with a pleading look. "If you are willing to submit to me, I can let you go. However, if you don't, I won't let you go." Wang Xian stared at him and said directly. Qilin bull's expression did not change much when he heard Wang Xian. This was within his expectations. Qilin bull was a human, and he was a magical beast. They were mortal enemies. There was no way he would let him go easily. Especially after witnessing his strength, he would not let him go and leave behind any future troubles. "Sure, I'm willing to submit." Qilin bull could only lower his head helplessly in the end. Chapter 40:16. All right, since you're willing to submit, swallow this blood essence and don't put up any resistance. In addition, if you submit to me, I won't mistreat you in the future. In the future, you might have a chance to step into the creation realm of Sky Yuan. When Wang Xian saw the Qilin bull submitting to him, he was thrilled. He had witnessed Qilin bull's strength with his own eyes. This was a super expert that could match up to his current strength. Its strength was definitely very close to the creation realm of Sky Yuan. In fact, he could even see his own path of breakthrough. Subduing such a demonic beast as his subordinate would be a huge boost to the Dragon Palace. After all, it was a demonic beast that was born from the blood-stained limbs of creation realm of Sky Yuan over a long period of time. "Let's go to your territory first." Wang Xian's eyes sparkled as he looked ahead. That was the territory of Qilin bull. "Yes, boss." Qilin bull swallowed the blood essence that Wang Xian had given him. A stream of consciousness surged into his mind. He knew that he was completely under Wang Xian's control. Therefore, he greeted Wang Xian respectfully. As for calling him master, he couldn't bring himself to do so. After all, his own strength was extremely terrifying. One of the reasons why he was willing to submit to Wang Xian was that Wang Xian's strength had shocked him. He knew that the strength of his boss wasn't any weaker than him when he was at his peak. "Boss, we have to take all the resources and treasures and leave this place immediately. Once Aya demon god recovers, he might come after us immediately. His strength is terrifying, especially the shadow of the demon god. I had to give it my all to escape." Qilin bull reminded Wang Xian. "I know." Wang Xian nodded. He naturally knew how terrifying Aya demon god was. What terrifying energy. At this time, Wang Xian suddenly sensed the majestic energy in front of him. His face was filled with shock. Boss, that's my old lair. Qilin Bull said. Your old lair actually contains such majestic energy. Do you have a lot of treasures here? Wang Xian widened his eyes and couldn't help but ask. You can say that. The Qilin Ox nodded. The birth of the Devil Beast Abyss has not only stained this place with the blood of the Aga heavenly demon god, but also with the blood of other heaven origin creation experts. It's just that the other heaven origin creation experts didn't have their limbs here. Apart from the blood of the fortune of heaven, there were also the blood of countless other experts. I don't know exactly how fierce the war was in the last aeon, but the number of powerful existences and devils who died was innumerable. That's why there's a lot of energy and treasures here. 3 of Ajation's 4 limbs gave birth to me, the Rotten Bird and the Demon Hunter King. The last limb gave birth to a large number of other magical beasts, as well as some resources and treasures. Upon hearing that, Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. He looked at the Qilin Bull with astonishment. You seem to know a lot. Through some blurry images and fragments, the Qilin Bull answered truthfully. There are so many resources here. Why didn't the fortune of heaven of the sword and magic universe flatten this place and take away all the treasures? Wang Xian continued to ask. There's only one possibility. The 2 divine origin creation realm powerhouses of the sword and sorcery universe are injured. Furthermore, they've suffered very serious injuries. They're in deep sleep and might not have woken up yet. Once they've completely recovered, they'll probably clean up this place. However, if they are any later, a Jason demon god will be reborn for a second life. At that time, it will be a terrifying disaster for the sword and magic universe. A war at the level of the fortune of heaven is earth-shattering. In order to kill a fortune of heaven, I'm afraid multiple fortune of heaven would have to join forces. The Qilin Bull answered. Are they in hibernation due to serious injuries? That's possible. Wang Xian nodded his head. The fall of a Jason demon god was definitely related to this war between the experts of the sword and magic universe. For a heavenly Yuan creation to leave his limbs here, his injuries must have been extremely terrifying. Otherwise, an expert of this level would have been able to recover immediately. Even if he lost his head, he would be able to recover immediately, let alone losing his limbs. One could imagine how much damage the source of a Jason demon god had suffered. The 4 limbs that had fallen here were also his source limbs. The energy here is too terrifying. Let me see how many resources there are. At this time, Wang Xian had arrived above the Qilin Bull's territory. He was attracted by the boundless energy around him, interrupting his train of thought. He stared down fervently and flew over immediately. I've set up a restriction here. Boss, I'll open it now. The horn of the Qilin Bull emitted a ray of light. As the light shone on the ground, the restriction defense disappeared. To be able to cultivate to this level and be born from the flesh and blood of the fortune of heaven. Their strength, combat skills, and abilities were numerous and terrifying. When the restriction disappeared, even more terrifying energy surged over. Wang Xian looked down and was astonished. A huge sea of blood and flesh flowers. A group of special flowers, blood red in color, resembling flesh and blood. However, they did not have the bloodiness of flesh and blood. Instead, they were filled with a sense of beauty. They contained boundless energy. These are the blood flowers that accompany me. I've absorbed a portion of them and nurtured another portion myself. This is the largest resource in my territory. The Qilin Bull looked over and revealed a proud look. As long as I devour a large amount of blood flowers, my injuries will recover rapidly. You're using them to recover? What a waste. Wang Xian replied immediately upon hearing it. Yes, what a waste. The resources and treasures here were too huge. Wang Xian had a feeling that as long as he absorbed all the resources here, even if he could not break through, he would be just a little bit away. As long as he broke through, his strength would be even more terrifying. He might even be able to touch the true fortune of heaven. At the thought of this, Wang Xian was extremely excited. He had thought that he would need too many resources to break through. To think that this Qilin Bull was a treasure trove. Not only was his strength terrifying, but he was also given so many resources. This guy was really his lucky star. Boss, If I don't use these blood flowers to recover, I'll need at least a few 100 million years. Upon hearing Wang Xian, the Qilin bull's single eye widened. The reason why he had asked Wang Xian to come here was because he wanted these resources to heal his injuries quickly. In the end, he said that it was a waste to heal his injuries. Isn't my boss a little too greedy? Chapter 4017. These resources are more than enough for me to level up. It's a bit of a waste to give them to you. Take the resources here immediately and let's leave. Wang Xian ignored Qilin Bull's words and spoke with passionate eyes. Even if the resources here weren't enough for him to level up, there wouldn't be much left. Once Wang Xian could make a breakthrough, it would be a huge thing for him to increase his strength. For the Dragon Palace, it was a big deal. At that time, he might be able to have a real clash with Tian Yuan Fortune. At that time, why would they be afraid of the Phoenix clan? Why would they be afraid of the angels? When the time comes, I'll just do it. Moreover, if Wang Xian's strength improved, he might be able to kill Aya, heavenly demon god. At that time, maybe the Qilin Bull would have a chance to step into the divine essence creation stage. By then, the Dragon Palace would have 2 divine essence creation realm cultivators. Absolutely terrifying. As long as I break through, I am confident that I can kill that Aga, heavenly devil god. At that time, you can devour Aga, heavenly devil god. Wang Xian regained his excitement. With a swift move, he flew towards the resources below and quickly stored them into the mother nest. What? Boss, can these resources help you break through? Breaking through to the creation of heavenly origin? Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, Qilin Bull was dumbfounded and asked in astonishment, I haven't reached the heavenly Yuan fate realm, but my strength shouldn't be much weaker than that. Wang Xian said confidently, Boss, let me help you collect the resources. When the Qilin Bull heard this, it instantly became excited. His battle prowess was comparable to that of a heavenly origin creation realm cultivator. What? Wouldn't he have a chance to break through to the creation of heaven realm if his boss killed Aya demon god in the future? Wouldn't he have reached the heavens in a single bound? Heavenly primordial creation. This was an eternal existence in the universe, the most terrifying expert. If he could break through to this realm, then he, Qilin Bull, would be willing to do anything for boss. In the future, he could be said to be in existence below only one person and above tens of thousands. What did his own injuries count for? At the very most, it would take a few 100 million years to slowly recover. What's the big deal? The more he thought about it, the more excited he got. He worked hard to help Wang Xian keep all the resources. Wang Xian did not notice the excited look on the unicorn bull's face. At this moment, he was very excited. This time, it was really a great opportunity. Do you have a lot of metal materials here? When Wang Xian and the rest arrived at the resting place of the Qilin Bulls, Wang Xian looked ahead and his eyes lit up. Yes, boss. I know that these metal materials are very precious, but they are useless to a magical beast like me, so I use them to decorate my sleeping place. The Qilin Bull immediately replied, All right. When Wang Xian saw this, he grinned again. There were simply too many metals in the Qilin Bull. Every single one of them had a very high level. Compared to the amount of metal materials he obtained in the 8th level of the magical beast abyss, it was several dozen times more. This is almost enough for the 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi dragon coil to achieve another breakthrough. To be able to reach my current level, his eyes were blazing. With a wave of his arm, he put it away. Go. After collecting all the resources, Wang Xian flew upwards with Unicorn. Do you know the passageway to the 8th level? Boss, I've built a secret passage to the 8th floor. Only I know about it. The Qilin Bull immediately replied, It's not far from here. All right, I need to go to a safe and secluded place to absorb all the resources and see if I can achieve a breakthrough. Wang Xian said to the Qilin Bull, Boss, we'd better hide further away. I'm born from the flesh and blood of the Aya, heavenly devil god. If we don't hide further away, he might find us and sense us. The Qilin Bull said immediately, All right, if that's the case, let's go to a remote place, to the edge of this universe. Wang Xian nodded as an idea formed in his mind. He wanted to go to the place where he came from in this universe. He would improve his strength there first. After his improvement, even if the passageway was exposed, Wang Xian had nothing to worry about given his strength. The Qilin Bull had no objections and left quickly with Wang Xian. The Qilin Bull was very familiar with the magical beast Abyss. Under its guidance, Wang Xian soon arrived at the highest level, following which, Wang Xian identified a direction and flew rapidly. His flying speed was very fast. After a year, he arrived at a city and started to teleport. For the next 10 years, Wang Xian continued teleporting. After arriving at a remote location, Wang Xian borrowed the power of the Tianyuan Fate Shard and flew for more than 10 years before he arrived at the location of the passageway that led to the 9 Origins Universe Divine Dragon Tribe's treasure vault. Let's do it here. You can also recover from your injuries on the side. Wang Xian released Qilin Bull from the mother nest and instructed it. Yes, boss. The Qilin Bull immediately answered and lay down to recover from its injuries. Wang Xian did not hesitate at all. After laying down an energy shield, he immediately transformed into his divine dragon form. He placed a large amount of resources in front of him and began to devour them. At the same time, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the 5 Elements Grindstone were also absorbing the metal materials and improving. What? 9 elements? The perfect fusion of the 9 elements. Qilin Bull, who was at the side, stared at Wang Xian with his eyes wide open. He was shocked. Boss is also a magical beast? No, Boss isn't a magical beast. He should be a creature of a powerful race. The Qilin Bull murmured. His heart was filled with doubts. Wasn't the sword and magic universe a universe dominated by humans? However, since he couldn't figure it out, he didn't think too much about it and started to recover from his injuries. Time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of years had passed. Just a little more. On this day, Wang Xian opened his eyes. With a thought, he looked at his attributes. Name, Wang Xian race, 9 Origins Divine Dragon, 1 with the Dragon, rank. 6th Order Universe Ruler, 9 transformations returned to 1. Origin, 95%, 5% required for next breakthrough, magic. Dominate the aquatic creatures, dominate any aquatic creatures lower than your own level, devour living things to extract the source. Control of the 5 elements cultivation technique. Divine Dragon Transformation Divine Powers. Soul Capture. Spirit Attachment Nomological Divine Abilities. Dragon Eye Lock. 5 elements Dragon Claw. Yin Yang World Breaker. 8 Luminaries Dragon Scale. Holy Dragon Shadow. 8 Divisions of the Heavenly Dragon. Dragon Tomb. Soaring Cloud Dragon. True Dragon Body Law of Dharma Form. 8 Directional Dragon Pillar. 8 Dragon Clone. Towering Dragon Horn. Great Mighty Heavenly Dragon. Godly Tail Playing with Pearls. Dragon Breath of Life. Shadow Dragon Clone. Netherworld Dragon Pursuit. Netherworld Dragon Conversion. Thunderstorm Dragon Life. Berserk Dragon Starburst. Domain. 9 Origin Dragon Domain Law of Mastery. Metal, Wood, Water, Fire, Earth, Light, Darkness, Wind, Lightning Divine Kingdom. Dragon Palace Possess Dragon Palace. Innate. Dragon Palace members. 8060450 Incham only 5% away. All the resources had been depleted. Looking at the remaining 5%, Wang Xian was slightly disappointed. Chapter 4018. Still lacking a little. Wang Xian looked at his own attributes. All the resources had been depleted. The amount of resources I'm using to level up is too huge. He couldn't help but sigh. Without any exaggeration, Wang Xian could say that the resources he had devoured this time were not something even the obscene Forbidden Land could produce. Perhaps all the resources in the Forbidden Land of Innocence and the Forbidden Land of Flowing Water combined would be more than the resources in the Unicorn Bull's nest. This was mainly because the Qilin Bull did not have any underlings, so it did not need to consume resources. Apart from his own use, all the other resources were stored away. But it was still lacking. If I were to absorb the 5% of the resources, it would take me tens of millions of years in a treasured land. If I were to cultivate here, it might take me hundreds of millions of years. Wang Xian calculated in his mind. As for bringing all the resources in the Dragon Palace over, it was not very effective. The Dragon Palace was still in the process of upgrading and didn't have a lot of resources. Even if they were all given to him, it wouldn't be of much use. As for the treasured land, he really didn't know. There were treasures in the Devil Beast Abyss that could speed up one's cultivation, but once one reached there, one would probably be killed by the Aga Sky Demon God. Let's just cultivate here. So what if it takes a few 100 million years? After much consideration, Wang Xian felt that this was the only place to cultivate. To be able to break through in a few 100 million years, this speed was extremely fast. One should know that Wang Xian's current improvement was only slightly weaker than breaking through to the creation realm of Heavenly Yuan. He sat there cross-legged and began to quietly absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, transforming it into dragon energy. It was improving bit by bit. At the side, the 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi dragon plate were also improving very slowly. As for the injuries on the Qilin bull's body, it would take at least a few 100 million years to recover. There was no hurry at all. Clang, clang, clang. While Wang Xian's main body was absorbing the spiritual energy for cultivation. At the 5th level of the Devil Beast Abyss, Wang Xian's void dragon body was engaged in battle. Battles could allow people to quickly break through their shackles. Over the past 10,000 years, Wang Xian had first arrived at the 4th level. After hunting some magical beasts, he had encountered some weaker ones. After that, he arrived at the 5th level. Over 10,000 years of battle had greatly improved his mastery of the Tianyuan sword art. At the same time, it also allowed him to grasp a lot more understanding of the space attribute. Perhaps it would only be a few tens of millions of years before his next breakthrough. Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief after easily killing the 2 6th-order universe sovereigns in front of him. He sat on the ground, absorbed some energy, and began to recover. Over here, there are spatial fluctuations here. It's very likely that it's that guy. At the same time, somewhere not far away from Wang Xian, 7 or 8 figures were constantly teleporting. At the center of the room was a middle-aged man holding a magic compass. Looking at the guidance on the magic compass, he spoke with sparkling eyes. We've already checked the location of the 4th floor of the Magical Beast Abyss. He should be on the 5th floor. If we confirm that it's him, we'll kill him. The eyes of the woman beside the middle-aged man flashed fiercely as she spoke with a cold expression. With our strength, we can easily kill him in an instant. He won't even have time to react. The few middle-aged men beside them said with smiles on their faces, "That brat has a great fortune on him." According to junior brother Su and I, he was able to break through the demonic pillars in the Cosmos ruins and obtained a large amount of treasures. There might be a great secret on him. And that sword art is indeed very powerful. If we can get it, it will greatly improve our strength. A middle-aged man's eyes were sparkling as he spoke. It's hard to say whether we can obtain that powerful sword art or not. However, we can definitely obtain those 40 powerful swords. Those are 40 top-notch spatial swords. It's really hard to imagine how this kid obtained them. Even I am envious of his talent and opportunities. But it's a pity that he's not a disciple of our forbidden space grounds. He's also rather high-profile. He actually dares to show off so many treasures. He doesn't know his place. The middle-aged man holding the magic compass in the middle said with a smile. They were experts from the forbidden space grounds. The middle-aged man in the middle had reached the 7th-order universe sovereign realm. A 7th-order universe sovereign with spatial attributes was already considered an expert in this universe. And their target this time was Wang Xian. They listened to some information from Saint Su and I. Under Saint Suni's suggestion, they set their sights on Wang Xian. With regards to the resources and the potential opportunities in the hands of Saint Wang Xian, even the experts from the forbidden space grounds were tempted. They could not resist the temptation. The group of them would definitely attack Wang Xian. Among the 8 of them, the weakest was at the 6th-order universe sovereign realm. If they wanted to kill Wang Xian, it would be a piece of cake. After all, Wang Xian was at the 5th-order universe sovereign realm. He could definitely kill him in an instant. Even if he had the treasures to revive him, he wouldn't know how he died. They had searched for thousands of years in the abyss of devil beasts and finally found him. The 8 of them concealed themselves for a while and continued to fly forward. It's him. After flying for more than 10 minutes, they immediately spotted Wang Xian. Seeing the figure sitting cross-legged on the ground, their eyes were filled with excitement and greed. Not to mention the other treasures. Just the 40 top-notch space swords were already a huge treasure for them. Among the 8 of them, most of them only had one top-notch space treasure. And it wasn't even the space sword. It was the other supporting treasures. They were far from comparable to the top-notch space sword. I'll go and kill him in an instant. You guys wait here. The 7th Order Sovereign Realm expert in the center of the group spoke. As his voice fell, his figure had already disappeared. He was 2 levels higher than Wang Xian. Killing him in an instant was easy. At the same time, below, Wang Xian, who was recovering his energy and cultivating, sensed the arrival of the 8 of them. Although Wang Xian's void divine dragon body was a little weak, his senses were still terrifying. Seeing that they wanted to kill him, Wang Xian was slightly taken aback. He opened his eyes. Behind him, the shadow of a void divine dragon appeared. Wang Xian's void divine dragon body was very weak. He was still at the 5th Order Sovereign Realm. Therefore, Wang Xian's main body had left some tricks on this body. Some life-saving tricks. Chapter 4019. Die. 5th level of Devil Beast Abyss. Wu Hongshan locked his cold gaze on Wang Xian from the forbidden space. He was the previous generation's son of saint. Now, he had the strength of a 7th Order Universe Lord. Given his strength, it would be a piece of cake for him to kill this puny son of saint. Very easy. After all, he was 2 levels lower than him. He did not think he would fail. In the next second, he could already see the head of Wang Xian's saint flying off. He saw his vitality vanishing instantly. However, when he was only 100 meters away from Wang Xian, he suddenly felt a terrifying pressure. He felt the threat of death. He saw a shadow that he had never seen before appearing behind Wang Xian's back. This illusory figure contained unparalleled power. At this moment, he was terrified. What's going on? What's going on? Wang. At this moment, in front of him, Wang Xian stared at him calmly. He extended his arms slowly. The divine dragon shadow above him slowly extended its dragon claws. Wang Xian's virtual divine dragon body was equivalent to a super expert's doppelganger. After Wang Xian left behind some tricks, he wanted to completely destroy this doppelganger. Only a pinnacle universe lord could do that. It was impossible for the 7th Order Sovereign Realm expert in front of him to kill him. Wang Xian extended his arm and clawed at him. In an instant, Wu Hongshan's body tightened, as he felt the surrounding void was completely locked. He himself was completely imprisoned there, unable to move a single step. Only a pair of eyes were filled with horror. Wang Xian swept his gaze across the area before looking at the spot behind him. Similarly, he extended his dragon claws and clawed at the other 7. Wang. The dragon claws seemed to have pierced through the void and appeared in front of the other 7 experts of the forbidden space void, grabbing at them. What? Everything happened in an instant. The 7 experts of the forbidden space void behind did not even have time to react. In their opinion, the previous generation's son of saint from the forbidden space void had taken action personally. It was too easy for a 7th Order Universe Sovereign to kill a 5th Order Universe Sovereign in an instant. All they had to do was wait to split the treasures. But before they could even react, they had already been imprisoned and captured. Their eyes were wide open, filled with disbelief and horror. Are you experts from the Void Forbidden Land? Wang Xian sized them up and asked plainly, how is this possible? How is this possible? How can you possess such terrifying power? No, that's not right. This isn't your power. This is the power you borrowed. A powerful expert left a terrifying life-saving method on your body. Wu Hongshan, who was in the forbidden void, stared at Wang Xian and roared in fear. Are you experts from the forbidden space zone? Wang Xian ignored him and clenched his fist in the air. A terrifying flame began to burn their bodies. He calmly asked again. In an instant, incomparably tragic cries came from their mouths. Yes, yes, we are. Another expert from the forbidden void could not bear the pain coming from his soul and roared loudly. They were experts from the forbidden void. Their powerful backgrounds had not allowed them to experience too many life-and-death battles, nor had they endured such a terrifying attack. Tell me, why are you here to kill me? Wang Xian stared at them and continued to ask coldly. The terrifying flame on their bodies did not stop. It's because we know you have treasures on you. We want those treasures. Quick, let us go, let us go. Otherwise, our space base will not let you off. That expert from the forbidden void roared with a hideous and painful face. Hee hee. Wang Xian heard them and sneered. Let you off? Is that possible? Kill us if you have the guts. Let me tell you, if you offend the forbidden void, we will not let you off. We will not let you off. Wu Hongshan was in excruciating pain as he roared at Wang Xian with a distorted face. You want to die? Not so easy. Wang Xian murmured. The divine dragon shadow on his body opened its mouth and swallowed them, following which, the divine dragon shadow turned into a ball and landed in his hand. No, no, no. Kill us. Kill us now. From the ball, Wu Hongshan's shrill roar was heard. Now, he just wanted Wang Xian to kill him directly. Wang Xian smiled with a sarcastic look on his face. The sword and sorcery universe also had resurrection treasures. It was highly possible that they had such resurrection treasures with them. If he killed them directly, they would be resurrected immediately. Would Wang Xian be that stupid? In order to deal with such situations, the trump card that Wang Xian had left behind could trap them directly in a realm. They would be in a state where they could neither live nor die. Under such circumstances, they could not be resurrected and could only remain in such a state. The experts from the Forbidden Void are coveting the treasures on me. It should have something to do with Saint Su and I and that saintess. I can feel their jealousy and greed in their eyes. Wang Xian murmured with a tinge of coldness in his eyes. How dare they come to kill him? They really don't know what's good for them. You guys are lucky. I won't kill you for now. As Wang Xian spoke, he immediately flew to the upper level of the Devil Beast Abyss. He did not intend to seek revenge on Saint Su and I and the rest, nor did he intend to seek revenge on the Forbidden Void. Wang Xian's actual body had not improved. Everything would have to wait until he improved. At that time, they would all die. If the Forbidden Void could not provide Wang Xian with a perfect solution, the Forbidden Void would also have to pay a terrible price. Of course, Wang Xian did not dare to boast that he could easily destroy the Forbidden Void. After all, the sword and sorcery universe still had 2 creation realm experts. I'm not going to continue my training. Let's find a place to cultivate in seclusion. Wang Xian prepared to go into seclusion. The trump card left behind by his actual body had been used up. If he continued to stay here, he would be in danger of dying. Moreover, what if the experts from the Forbidden Void came to hunt him again? Without a trump card, he would be done for. Although he could be resurrected, it was not easy to cultivate to this realm. Wang Xian did not want his Void Divine Dragon body to die. He quickly went to the highest level of the Devil Beast Abyss and came to the teleportation point. He was directly teleported to Tianyuan City. He still had a lot of resources with him. Wang Xian rented a place and began his seclusion in a room. Tianyuan City was still very safe. Chapter 40:20. Wang Xian did not want to make any mistakes at this crucial moment. No accidents. Even if the body of the Void Divine Dragon was attacked, he could still endure it. Endure. Endure until his body broke through. At that time, no one in the entire sword and sorcery universe would be able to do anything to him. This attack did not infuriate Wang Xian too much. The provocation of a few ants was not enough to enrage him. When both of Wang Xian's bodies entered seclusion, time passed the fastest, and in the sword and sorcery universe, the Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Institute were still clearing the Devil's Abyss in an orderly manner. Long Yining and Long Yinhao sent some messages to Wang Xian from time to time, telling him about the situation of their training. In addition to his seclusion, Wang Xian also did some recuperation. Tens of millions of years passed in the blink of an eye, and on this day, Wang Xian received messages from Long Yining and Long Yinhao at the same time. When he saw this message, his eyes narrowed slightly. In the Devil's Abyss, the experts from the Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Institute were suddenly attacked by a large number of magical beasts. In these tens of millions of years, the experts from the Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Institute had already entered the 6th level of the Devil's Abyss. A large number of magical beasts were destroyed by them, but when they entered the 7th level, they were met with a horrifying attack. The casualties were incomparable. Thousands of 5th-order universe sovereigns and above were killed. According to the messages from Long Yining and Long Yinhao, magical beasts carried out a sneak attack on them, and it was an organized sneak attack. The sudden attack left all the experts unable to react. The casualties were incomparable. Moreover, in the 7th level of the Devil's Abyss, an organized magical beast army had appeared. Now, the Forbidden Grounds and Sacred Institute had canceled the operation of each team and formed an entire army. They even asked where Wang Xian was now, and if he had time to meet and so on. Wang Xian ignored the latter question, his face revealing a pensive look. The changes in the Devil's Abyss could be related to Aya Sky Demon God. Aya Sky Demon God, as an existence that was once created by Tian Yuan, possessed great wisdom. He had even once invaded the interior of the sword and sorcery universe. Now that he had returned, he could easily organize magical beasts to carry out a sneak attack. He just didn't know how strong this Aya heavenly demon god was. How far was he from the heavenly primordial fortune? I hope this guy breaks through slowly. Once I break through, I should be able to kill him and let the Qilin ox devour him. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. After replying to Long Yining and Long Yinhao, Wang Xian continued his cultivation. 100 million years quickly passed by. The realm of Wang Xian's void divine dragon body had also improved, reaching the 6th order universe sovereign realm. Over the past 100 million years, there had been all sorts of news from the magical beast abyss. Now, the Holy Lands, Forbidden Lands, and Sacred Institute had won consecutive victories after forming their legions. He had killed a large number of magical beasts. Moreover, this battle had been a great tempering for the Sacred Grounds and the Sacred Institute. Because of this, the Sacred Grounds and the Sacred Institute weren't in a hurry, using magical beasts as whetstones. There was no hurry to kill them all. Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he heard the news. He didn't know if the Aga heavenly demon god had done it on purpose or if it was something else. In short, he didn't care. Time passed, and another 100 million years passed. Wang Xian's void divine dragon body had reached the 7th order universe sovereign realm. When he reached this realm, his rate of improvement had slowed to a crawl. His main body was devouring energy in preparation for a breakthrough. Without the support of his main body, the rate of breakthrough was much slower. According to Wang Xian's estimation, he would need at least 300 to 400 million years to reach the 8th order universe sovereign realm. This time was calculated according to the fastest. After all, the place where Wang Xian cultivated in seclusion wasn't a land of treasures. Furthermore, there were times when cultivating in seclusion might not be as fast as going out to train. Long Yining and Long Yinhao had been fighting and training, and their rate of improvement was very fast. Time passed quickly. Another 200 million years passed. In these 200 million years, the Holy Lands, Forbidden Lands, and Sacred Institute had completely turned the magical beast abyss into a training ground. 200 million years ago, not a large number of experts had died. Instead, they had given birth to a large number of experts. Later on, the thoughtful Forbidden Land and the flowing water Forbidden Land even issued an order to not exterminate the magical beasts, to use it as a training ground for their disciples and experts. This had indeed allowed countless experts and disciples to gain experience and improve. When Wang Xian saw this message, he felt that it was extremely strange. This Aya Sky Demon God must be plotting something, but he didn't know what it was. I'm about to break through, and in these hundreds of millions of years, at the edge of the sword and magic universe, Wang Xian had been cultivating at the edge for hundreds of millions of years. On this day, When Wang Xian converted the energy in his body into dragon energy, Wang Xian instantly opened his eyes, which were filled with excitement and fervor. Ka. Immediately after, an extremely vast amount of power was emitted from his body. In the sky, an enormous divine dragon body appeared out of thin air. Wang Xian's body had already reached hundreds of thousands of kilometers in length, comparable to a cosmic beast. In a breath, the sky and earth changed color. The wind and clouds stirred. In the chaos at the side, under Wang Xian's aura, the chaos shook continuously, as though there was a huge earthquake. Ding! Congratulations to the host for leveling up and breaking through to the 7th Order Universe Lord Realm. Ding! Congratulations to the host for leveling up. The 9 Origin Dragon Domain has been strengthened. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Breakthrough. Finally breakthrough. Consumed all the resources of the Qilin Bull. It took another 400 million years for Wang Xian to fill up the last 5% of the energy. Finally, breakthrough. Feeling the explosive energy coming from his body, Wang Xian's body moved slowly. Rumble. Ka. His body moved slightly, and a crack appeared in the void around him. Even the universe couldn't withstand his aura. Horrifying. Horrifying. Wang Xian's eyes shone with excitement. I don't know if the current me can match up to the creation of Tian Yuan, but that Aya Sky Demon God, the Aya Sky Demon God that I met previously, even if he cast the Demon God Shadow, I could still kill him directly. At this moment, Wang Xian said confidently, as for the real creation of Tian Yuan, he had to experience it personally to know if he could match up to it. The augmentation of 9 types of energy, the integration of 9 types of energy, and the operation of 9 types of energy. This was the horror of a 9 Origins divine dragon. He was only at the 7th Order Universe Lord Realm now. Chapter 4021. In a year's time, they could almost reach Tianyuan City. In the Tianyuan City of the Sword and Sorcery Universe, Wang Xian, who was in his void divine dragon form, opened his eyes and revealed a faint smile. His main body had been upgraded. Next, the improvement of this void divine dragon's body could be sped up. Currently in the universe Lord Realm of the 7th Order. Over the past hundreds of millions of years, he had only risen by 2 levels. To Wang Xian, this was extremely slow. Let's stroll around Tianyuan City. Wang Xian stood up. He had been in seclusion for 400 million years. To him, it was really boring. He took out the communication stone plate and sent a message to Long Yining and Long Yinhao. I haven't seen them for 400 million years. Long Yining and Long Yinhao had sought him out countless times during this period, but they had all been directly rejected by him. After the message was sent, Long Yining quickly responded. Wang Xian made a move and flew out. Brother Wang Xian. After more than 10 hours, Long Yining flew over and shouted at Wang Xian excitedly. Looking at the figure in front of him, Wang Xian revealed a smile. After not seeing him for 400 million years, Long Yining had undergone many changes. Her face was still as exquisite and beautiful as ever. As a cultivator of the water attribute, time did not leave any traces on her face. Instead, it made her figure even more perfect, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration to call her a water fairy. Different from Shui Linglong's cuteness, Long Yining had the demeanor of an older sister. During these 400 million years, his strength had also greatly improved. He had already reached the 6th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. This speed of improvement was even faster than Wang Xian. The main reason was that the place where Wang Xian cultivated in seclusion for the past 400 million years was not a treasure trove. Compared to fighting frequently and obtaining some resources to improve, there was a huge difference. If he continued to cultivate like this, he would be able to reach the peak of the universe ruler realm before the cataclysm arrived. Long time no see. Wang Xian looked at her and spoke with a smile. Big brother Wang Xian, it's been a long time since we last met. It's been more than 400 million years. Long Yining flew to his side and spoke with some hidden bitterness. It's also because of some special reasons that I didn't look for you guys. Wang Xian chuckled. I'm really sorry, but it's fine now. I'll have a lot of time. Where do you want to go? What do you want to eat? Let's go together. he continued to say with a smile. In, let's go and eat something delicious. I know a place in Tianyuan City that serves delicious food. Long Yining nodded happily. With a blushing face, he reached out and pulled Wang Xian's arm. All right, let's go and have a taste. Wang Xian smiled and nodded his head. He reached out to hold her hand and flew forward. This caused Long Yining's body to tremble and his face to be filled with happiness. After not seeing him for more than 400 million years, Long Yining had opened up many things. He also mustered up a lot of courage. The two of them flew into a restaurant. The two of them chatted as they ate. After not seeing each other for 400 million years, their relationship was much better than before. Both of them had a tacit understanding. What I did has nothing to do with me. Shu Qing and the rest shouldn't blame me, right? Over at the main body, Wang Xian chuckled. A true man. Even in death, men were still youths. Right, where's Long Yinhao? Why didn't he come with you? After the two of them finished their meal, Wang Xian suddenly asked Long Yining when they came to a scenic spot. Yinhao is now with Saintess Luiyue. Brother Wang Xian, you would never have guessed that my younger brother is in a relationship with Saintess Luiyue. Long Yining replied. Huh. Wang Xian was slightly taken aback by her words. Long Yinhao is in a relationship with Saintess Luiyue. Saintess Luiyue from the Flowing Water Forbidden area? How did they get together all of a sudden? Not bad, lad. Wang Xian was shocked. Although Long Yinhao had obtained the inheritance from the corpse of a water attribute expert in the demonic column, Saintess Luiyue had also obtained it. Moreover, Saintess Luiyue's background and her strength was stronger than Long Yinhao's. This was indeed a surprise to him. Hee, Xiao Xian, I didn't tell you about them through the communication stone plate. Do you still know about what happened after you left 400 million years ago? The experts and disciples of the Forbidden Grounds, Sacred Grounds, and Sacred Institute were attacked by a large number of magical beasts. At that time, many experts died. At that time, we were also attacked by magical beasts. At that time, Yinhao helped Saintess Luiyue fend off a fatal attack. Yinhao almost died at that time and was rescued. In the end, his relationship with Saintess Luiyue improved. After that lad also started to cultivate with all his might. Now, his realm is one level higher than mine. He has reached the 7th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. After he broke through, his relationship with Saintess Luiyue was exposed. I only found out about it later. Long Yining said with a smile. Oh, he actually broke through to the 7th Order Universe Sovereign Realm? His cultivation speed is really fast. Wang Xian was shocked. I was also very surprised. Perhaps this lad knew that the pressure was greater and worked harder on his cultivation. Coupled with the nurturing from the Laozu and the rest, he improved really quickly. Long Yining nodded. Given Yinhao's talent and current strength, he is indeed worthy of Saintess Luiyue. Wang Xian said with a smile. Long Yinhao would also be his brother-in-law in the future. Hee. Let's find a time to let him bring Saintess Luiyue over. Let's have a good gathering. Long Yining said. Wang Xian nodded. In the next few months, Wang Xian and Long Yining continued to wander around Tianyuan City. After more than 400 million years of development, the entire Tianyuan City had undergone many changes. It would probably take a few years to wander around the entire Tianyuan City. A few months was just a snap of the fingers for Wang Xian and the rest. And on this day, Wang Xian and Long Yining were having fun in a lake. Long Yining's communication device vibrated. When she saw the content, her expression changed and she stood up immediately. Her face was a little pale. What's wrong? Wang Xian saw the sudden change in Long Yining's expression and frowned slightly. He immediately asked with concern, Big brother Wang Xian, Yinhao has fallen. He has been killed. Long Yining said with a trembling voice. Her eyes instantly turned red. What? Yinhao has fallen. When Wang Xian heard this, his expression also changed. He focused his gaze and stood up. He should have a resurrection treasure. Is he resurrected now? Chapter 40:22. He has been resurrected and is in our dragon roar forbidden ground. Long Yining said to Wang Xian with reddened eyes. Let's go. It's great that he can be resurrected. Let's head over. Wang Xian nodded his head and said to her, Yeah. Long Yining nodded her head with a worried look on her face. Although Yin Hao can be resurrected, he has already cultivated to this level. Even with sufficient resources in the future, it will take hundreds of millions of years to recover to the 7th Order Universe Lord Realm. This will have a huge impact on his future. It's all right. Don't worry. Wang Xian comforted her. He looked at her and asked, Yining, do you know how Yin Hao died? Father didn't tell me. He said he would tell me when I returned. Long Yining answered. Wang Xian's eyes flickered when he heard this. It seemed like Long Yining's death wasn't that simple. If he had died in the hands of a magical beast, Long Yining's father would have nothing to hide. Wang Xian brought Long Yining along and flew rapidly to the teleportation array for teleportation. Tianyuan City was still far from the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground. It took them more than 10 days to arrive at the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground. They immediately flew towards the sky peak. Father. Before reaching the door, Long Yining had already opened his mouth and shouted loudly, Yining, Xiaoxian is here too. Come over. The voice of Long Yining's father came from inside. When Wang Xian and the rest entered, they found many people already seated and standing. They were all experts of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground, including the Lao Zu of Long Yining, the founder of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Ground. Father, grandfather, Lao Zu, how is Yin Hao now? Long Yining asked hurriedly. Yin Hao is fine. It's just that all his cultivation has disappeared, and he needs to cultivate from scratch. Long Yining's father sighed and answered, Uncle, how did Yin Hao die? Wang Xian stood at the side and asked directly. His words caused the expression of Long Yining's father to change slightly. Around them, the expressions of the patriarchs of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land slowly turned ugly. According to Yin Hao, he was killed by a sneak attack. He didn't see the attacker, but before he died, he saw a few faces. There was the Flowing Water Forbidden Land's Holy Prince, an 8th Order Sovereign Realm expert, the Space Forbidden Land's Holy Prince Su and I, and several experts from the Space Forbidden Land. The one who ambushed him should be an expert from the Forbidden Space Zone, because before he died, he felt the fluctuations of the space attribute. Long Yining's grandfather, the second elder, slowly opened his mouth to speak. At the end, he sighed helplessly. Why did they want to kill Yin Hao? Yin Hao didn't offend them. How could they do this? Grandpa, didn't the experts of the Thoughtful Forbidden Land and the Flowing Water Forbidden Land say that they forbid any disciples from fighting? They killed Yin Hao. We're going to sue them and tell the Masters of the Innocence Forbidden Land and the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. When Long Yining heard this, his face revealed an angry expression as he shouted loudly, We can sue them, but without any evidence, how would they believe us? Especially when they have the Flowing Water Forbidden Land's Holy Prince and experts from the Space Forbidden Land among them. The Flowing Water Forbidden Land and the Space Forbidden Land. If we don't have evidence, they'll accuse us of framing them. Our Dragon Roar Forbidden Land won't be able to bear it. It's possible that... Sigh. The second elder shook his head, feeling weak all over. Their Dragon Roar Forbidden Land had been thriving for the past few 100 million years. They had the powerful Holy Prince Wang Xian, and 2 holy sons and holy daughters with unparalleled potential. However, the experts of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land knew the real situation. Holy Prince Wang Xian was an outsider after all. His identity was so mysterious that even the Dragon Roar Forbidden Land didn't know a thing or two. Therefore, they still relied on Long Yining and Long Yin Hao. Fortunately, Long Yining and Long Yin Hao had also lived up to expectations. Especially Long Yin Hao, who had reached the 7th Order Universe Sovereign Realm at such a young age. In the future, he would reach the Pinnacle Sovereign Realm. But now, he had suddenly fallen midway. Their Dragon Roar Forbidden Land suffered more than anyone else. The Flowing Water Forbidden Land, the Space Forbidden Land. In the absence of evidence, even if Long Yin Hao had seen them before his death, what could he do? They didn't dare to spread the news. This was the tragedy of a weak force. The saints of the Space Forbidden Land and their experts. The saints of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land and their experts. Hearing their words, Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Wang Xian knew about the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. Back in the universe ruins, he didn't get the corpse of the water attribute expert in the demonic column. At that time, his eyes were filled with anger, unwillingness, and jealousy. Wang Xian had sensed it. It was just that he didn't take it seriously at that time. Was it revenge on Long Yinhao now? Perhaps it wasn't just this. Wang Xian thought of Holy Daughter Luyue. This might even involve Holy Daughter Luyue. Grandpa, can we go and see Yinhao now? Long Yining bit his lip and asked the second elder. He's inside, the second elder said as he pointed to the location inside. Long Yining nodded and walked straight in. Wang Xian immediately followed by the side. The two entered the location inside. In the deepest part, in a pool, Long Yinhao sat cross-legged. However, at this time, he was extremely weak. He hadn't even reached the Emperor God realm. Brother. Long Yining saw his younger brother and felt his aura. His expression changed as he shouted, Sister, Brother Wang Xian, you're here? Long Yinhao opened his eyes. When he saw Wang Xian and Long Yining, he smiled and shouted, Are you all right? Long Yining looked at him with heartache and opened his mouth. Sister, what can happen to me? I just died once. Didn't I come back to life? However, I'm afraid I'll need some time to recover to my peak. Long Yinhao squeezed out a smile and said. Long Yining looked at his smile and didn't know what to say for a moment. It's all right. Just cultivate well. I'll get my revenge. Wang Xian said plainly to Long Yinhao. Brother Wang Xian, if you can cultivate to the creation of Sky Yuan realm, no. As long as you reach the pinnacle of the Universe Lord realm, you'll be invincible below the creation of Sky Yuan realm. At that time, you'll be able to help me vent my anger. Ha ha ha, I'll have to rely on you in the future. Upon hearing Wang Xian, Long Yinhao laughed heartily. His mentality wasn't too bad. Although 400 million years had passed, there hadn't been much change. All right, I'll be back soon. When Wang Xian heard him, he chuckled. Soon, there was still a month before his real body arrived. Chapter 4023. Hee, I believe in Brother Wang Xian. In the future, Brother Wang Xian will definitely be the top existence in our sword and sorcery universe. Long Yinhao said with a smile. By the way, Yinhao, does Saintess Luyue know that you have fallen? Yinhao, do you know the specific reason for your death? Long Yining asked. Luyue already knows. She said she would rush over. As for the specific reason, I only have a rough guess. Long Yinhao's smile disappeared when he heard this. What reason? Because of Saintess Luyue? Wang Xian asked directly. Long Yinhao remained silent for a while before nodding. Should be. It should be because of Flowing Water Hallian of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area. Flowing Water Hallian? The grandson of the current master of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area. Flowing Water Hallian? Long Yining's expression changed as he asked. Long Yinhao slightly nodded his head. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows when he heard this. And it was related to the grandson of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area? As for the reason, they could guess it without Long Yinhao saying it. It was nothing more than jealousy. It was nothing more than jealousy because he was with Saintess Luyue. And it even involved the grandson of the master of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area. No wonder the experts of the Dragon Roar Forbidden Area couldn't do anything about it. I didn't tell Luyue. Sister, don't tell her either. Long Yinhao reminded Long Yining. I know. Long Yining frowned and nodded. His face was filled with helplessness. Wang Xian didn't say much. After chatting with Long Yinhao for a while, they went out. Long Yining's family felt a little heavy in their hearts. They gave Wang Xian a simple reception. I'll settle Yinhao's matter in about a month. Just in time. I'll settle everything in the past as well. Wang Xian and Long Yining came to the waterfall of Sky Peak as he spoke. Brother Wang Xian, you? How are you going to settle it? What's the matter in the past? Long Yining looked at Wang Xian with surprise and asked. The reason I chose to go into seclusion in the past hundreds of millions of years was because I was attacked in the Devil Beast Abyss. I've already caught the attacker, but the aftermath has not been settled. Wang Xian didn't hide and answered directly. Hearing this, Long Yining looked at him nervously. Wait for more than a month. After more than a month, you will understand. Wang Xian patted her head and did not tell her anything else. Over a month later, Wang Xian would fuck anyone he didn't like? How dare he bully his own brother-in-law? Wasn't that courting death? So what if the Forbidden Water area had the fortune of Tianyuan? At that time, he really didn't believe that the sword and magic universe's heaven's origin creation would dare to fight against him. If a great battle were to break out, the shockwaves would cause the entire sword and magic universe to suffer disastrous losses. It could cause the death of billions of lives in the sword and magic universe. At this time, they absolutely did not dare to erupt into a battle that was too strong. Otherwise, the arrival of the cataclysm would be the doomsday of the sword and magic universe. Therefore, he was no longer afraid of the sword and magic universe's heaven's origin creation. Together with the matter from 400 million years ago, it would all be resolved. What lawsuit are you selling? You're so mysterious. Even our roaring dragon forbidden ground doesn't know your background. Long Yining looked at him and couldn't help but speak. Hee anyway, you don't have to worry, Wang Xian said with a smile. Hee, all right. Since you've said so, I won't worry anymore. Long Yining smiled and nodded. However, when Wang Xian was preparing to take action more than a month later, half a month later, Saintess Luiyue suddenly arrived. After her arrival, she immediately went to look for Long Yinhao. Both of them had a good chat at the beginning. However, 7 days later, things suddenly got out of hand. Saintess Luiyue suddenly called Long Yining over. Wang Xian also followed her confidently. Luiyue, Yinhao, what's wrong with you guys? Long Yining saw that both Saintess Luiyue and Long Yinhao looked very embarrassed. She asked with a little surprise. Sister Yining, I'm going to bring Yinhao to look for that group of guys. I want them to give me an explanation and make them pay the price. Saintess Luiyue said with a frosty face. Upon hearing her words, Long Yining looked at her younger brother. I didn't say anything. Long Yinhao shook his head bitterly. Can't I find out myself if you don't say anything? You said you met a magical beast and were killed by it. How is that possible? We have been in and out of the 7th level of the magical beast abyss many times. I'm not a fool. How can I not know anything? What are you hiding? What are you worried about? After all, I have some influence in the flowing water forbidden area. I'm also the saintess of the flowing water forbidden area. If someone killed you, we are in the right. Even if there's no evidence, I want them to pay the price. I might not be able to deal with some of them, but I can still make them pay the price. Saintess Luiyue said with a frosty face and a domineering look. On the other hand, Long Yinhao kept smiling bitterly. He had no choice. Even when Long Yinhao was at his peak, he was no match for his girlfriend. Not to mention her background. Having a domineering girlfriend was painful and happy at the same time. Sister Yining, I'll bring Yinhao to the military base. Those guys are all there. I want them to give me an explanation. Saintess Luiyue looked at Long Yining and continued, You and Yinhao can decide on this, Luiyue. Long Yining opened his mouth and said, In fact, Saintess Luiyue was much older than Long Yining. It was only because of her younger brother that she called her sister. Even if she added up their ages, they were still not as old as Saintess Luiyue. Of course, this age gap of hundreds of millions of years was nothing in the eyes of experts at their level. All right, Yinhao, come with me. Saintess Luiyue pulled Long Yinhao and said domineeringly. She was going to stand up for her man. Yinhao has found the right girlfriend, Wang Xian commented with a smile as he watched from the side. He had not expected Saintess Luiyue to be so domineering. She treated Long Yinhao very well. Saintess Luiyue wanted to bring Long Yinhao to seek an explanation. It would take half a month to reach the magical beast abyss from here. Coincidentally, his actual body would be there by then. Saintess Luiyue blushed when she heard Wang Xian's compliment. Long Yinhao smiled foolishly. In the face of a domineering girlfriend, he could not resist and could only obey. He could only obey. Chapter 40-24. Go. After learning that Long Yinhao had been ambushed, Luyu Saint Maiden didn't stay for long. She immediately led him to find an explanation. Wang Xian and Long Yining followed at the side. The experts of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Ground knew of this news. but they did not stop him or follow him. The status of the Luyue Saintes was not something that their roaring dragon forbidden land could compare to. As for Holy Maiden Luyu, she was able to become a holy maiden in the flowing water forbidden land because she had a master and elders behind her. Her elder was also a powerhouse from the flowing water forbidden land. He might even be a peak sovereign realm expert. If Holy Maiden Luyu wanted to seek justice for Long Yinhao, she could do it. They couldn't interfere in such matters. The four of them headed toward the magical beast abyss through the teleportation circle. Currently, the first 6 floors of the magical beast abyss had been completely cleared. Not a single magical beast was left. On the 7th floor, the Holy Lands and the Sacred Institute had set up a military base here. The entire 7th floor of the magical beast abyss was to be used as a training ground for the disciples of the powerhouses. In these several 100 million years, the effects were obvious. But now, the magical beasts on the 7th level were basically cleared out. The experts of the Forbidden Grounds, Sacred Grounds, and Sacred Institute were preparing to set up a base on the 8th floor. After half a month of traveling, Wang Xian and the rest arrived at Tianyuan City. They entered the teleportation formation and arrived at the sky above the Devil's Abyss. The moment the four of them teleported over, a figure appeared. A young man riding a special one-eyed, single-horned old bull also stepped into the teleportation formation. Apart from being extraordinarily handsome, there was nothing else special about this young man. As for this old bull, it had a single horn and a single eye. It was 3 to 4 meters tall and looked a bit silly and adorable. The young man smiled and disappeared. Naturally, this was Wang Xian's main body that had rushed over. After the breakthrough, Wang Xian kept his strength under control. Unless it was someone at the creation realm of Heavenly Yuan, no one would be able to tell Wang Xian's exact strength. They looked at Wang Xian in bewilderment. They might even mistake him for an expert of the universe supremacy level. As for the Qilin ox, it was also restrained. Few experts could see through this terrifying demonic beast. After all, the strength of a Qilin bull was extremely terrifying. Even a pinnacle space-type universe ruler realm expert was not a match for the Qilin bull. Even the Qilin ox could easily kill it. After a year's journey, he finally arrived. Wang Xian did not merge with his void divine dragon body. Instead, he was waiting to see what would happen next. Since Saintess Luyue was willing to stand up for him, Wang Xian would just have to wait. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Furthermore, he could see that Holy Maiden Luyue was standing up for Long Yinhao. Look, these guys don't want to live anymore. After entering the teleportation portal, Luyu led them straight to the 7th floor of the magical beast abyss. The first 6 levels were very safe, and a fast passage had been opened up. Let's go to the 8th floor. Right now, a large number of experts and disciples from the Forbidden Lands, Holy Lands, and Sacred Academies are building bases on the 8th floor. Let's go there directly. When they arrived at the 7th level of the Devil Beast Abyss, Saintess Luyu scanned the surroundings and realized that there weren't many people on the 7th level. Hence, she led Wang Xian and the rest to the 8th level. When he came to the 8th floor through a passageway, he immediately saw a large number of people around him. There were at least millions of experts and disciples. None of them were below the sovereign realm. There were so many sovereign realm experts here. This was related to the cultivation environment of sword and magic arts. In addition, according to Wang Xian's conjecture, this was also related to the number of creation realm experts in a universe. In a universe, if there were more experts at the divine essence creation realm, the resources consumed by them would increase as well. Naturally, there would be fewer sovereign realm experts. In the sword and magic universe, there were only 2 creation realm experts. This also resulted in the birth of more sovereign realm experts in the universe. A large number of experts were building a floating city in the sky below them. It could also be called a military base. A large military base, among which a part of the military base had been built. It only took less than a month to build the army suppressing force. The main reason was that there were too many experts in the construction. Sister Enine, Holy Son Wang Xian, let's go. They are over there. Luyu looked at the communication device in her hand and led them in a direction. Soon, they arrived at a building that had been built in the military base. This was a very spacious building. Standing on it, one could see the 8th level of the magical beast abyss from afar. At this moment, there were a large number of experts and disciples on the building. The young and middle-aged were the majority. There were not many of those from the ancient generation. A group of experts and disciples were chatting loudly over there. These were the elite disciples of the Sacred Grounds and Sacred Institute. Lu Yu locked her gaze on a certain area and a figure. A murderous intent flashed in her eyes. Wang. She moved her palm and a staff appeared in her hand. Lu Yu. Long Yinhao, who was beside her, sensed the murderous intent from Lu Yu and shouted, "Yinhao, just watch from the side." Lu Yu Saintis said gently to him, following which, the staff in her hand emitted a horrifying radiance. Boom! In the next instant, she moved and a horrifying water lotus bloomed. Death Lotus. Saintess Lu Yu's eyes narrowed, and she instantly attacked the Saint Sun of the Forbidden Land of Space, Saint Sun Suanai. Her first move was a killing move, and her strongest attack. Lu Yu was now in the 7th Order Universe Lord Realm. She was not far from the 8th Order Universe Lord Realm. As for Suanai, he was only in the 5th Order Universe Lord Realm. In these hundreds of millions of years, he had only risen by one level. The reason was that the cultivation of the space element was too difficult. Secondly, he did not obtain the inheritance from the corpse of the demonic pillar in the universe ruins. If he had obtained this inheritance, he would at least be in the 6th Order Universe Lord Realm. The 7th Order Universe Lord Lu Yu, Holy Maiden, suddenly attacked with a killing move. This was something that the surrounding experts and disciples did not expect. Even the Suanai Saint and the experts and disciples around him did not expect such a deadly attack to come at them, and at such a close distance. Who would have thought that the Flowing Water Forbidden Grounds Holy Maiden would suddenly attack the Saint of the Forbidden Grounds? One had to know that the innocent Forbidden Grounds and Flowing Water Forbidden Grounds had already announced that they would not allow any forces or experts to fight amongst themselves. When the terrifying energy descended on Saint Suanai, everyone around was shocked. They hurriedly looked over. Chapter 4025. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. No. On the 8th floor of the Devil Beast Abyss, Holy Daughter Lu Yu suddenly attacked. As the Death Lotus bloomed, Saint Sun Suanai was instantly engulfed. Saint Sun Suanai did not react in time. The surrounding experts did not react in time either. Terrifying energy engulfed him, and he screamed in pain. Then, he lost all signs of life. What? Hissed this? That's Holy Daughter Lu Yu. What is she doing? She actually killed Saint Sun Suanai from the forbidden space. This? She's crazy. Why did she suddenly kill Saint Sun Suanai? When the energy suddenly rose up, all the experts and disciples in the surroundings looked over, and their faces were filled with shock. Holy Daughter Lu Yu had killed Saint Sun Suanai on the spot. This was crazy. Saint Sun Suanai did not even have time to react before he was killed. Everyone was shocked. Saint Sun Suni's corpse lay there quietly. Around the corpse, the experts from the Thoughtful Forbidden Land, the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, the Space Forbidden Land, and the other sacred grounds and academies were all astonished. Holy Daughter Lu Yu, what are you doing? One of the 7th Order Universe Sovereigns from the Forbidden Space Forbidden Ground looked up and locked onto Holy Daughter Lu Yu, his face dark as he roared. Lu Yu, are you crazy? What are you doing? One of the 8th Order Universe Sovereigns from the Flowing Water Forbidden Ground looked at Holy Daughter Lu Yu and roared. Flowing Water, Haolian, Lu Qingming, Su Jingshan, Su Fengxue, Qi Jiangping, Qi Xiaohe, get out here. Holy Daughter Lu Yu floated in the air, looking down at the crowd below, her eyes filled with killing intent. Boom. The moment she finished speaking, the staff in her hand gathered another terrifying attack. This time, her target was the current Saint Sun of the Flowing Water Holy Ground, Lu Qingming. Her first attack was still a killing move. The Saint Sun of the Flowing Water Forbidden Ground, also the one from the universe ruins, had not received the inheritance of the demonic pillar. She faced a Saint Sun from the same sect, and one on the same level as her. She did not hold back at all. Lu Qingming's expression changed drastically when he saw Lu Yu's attack, and he hurriedly dodged to the side with a terrified expression. Lu Yu, do you know what you're doing? At the side, Flowing Water and Halian looked at this scene with an extremely ugly expression. He waved his arm and put up a strong defense. His strength was at the 8th Order Universe Sovereign Realm. She was a level higher than the Lu Yu Saintess. What? What was Lu Yu trying to do? You killed the Holy Son of the Spatial Forbidden Land right away, and now you want to kill the Holy Son of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land? That's crazy. What's going on with her? How dare you be so unbridled here? It's too terrifying. It's too valiant. It's really a killing move. In the surroundings, all the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Grounds, Sacred Grounds, and Sacred Institute were shocked. This was too crazy. A saint of the same sect directly attacked, wanting to kill him. Not bad. She's very protective of her husband. Don't let her down in the future. Seeing this, Wang Xian smiled and spoke to Long Yinhao, who was beside him. An awkward expression appeared on Long Yinhao's face. Will Lu Yu be in trouble by doing this? He asked worriedly. Don't worry. The reason why Lu Yu Saintess could become the Saintess of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land is not only because of her incredible talent and terrifying strength, but also because of her temperament. Wang Xian said to him, a Saintess of such a huge forbidden land who had lived for 1 billion years under the intensive training of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land was no ordinary weak girl. Since she had made a move, she must have a trump card. From her attack, one could tell. She did not kill the Holy Son of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land first because she had her reservations. Killing the Holy Son of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land was within her tolerance. Lu Yu Saintess, why did you kill the saint of our Forbidden Land, Su and I? Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you're the Saintess of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. You have to give us an explanation. The questioning from the experts of the Forbidden Land came from below. Su Jingxian, I killed Su and I. You should know that I'm not strong enough now. If I were strong enough, I would have killed you. Humph, Lu Yu Halian, you guys know what you've done. Lu Yu Saintess stared at them and said coldly, what did we do? Lu Yu, speak clearly. Lu Yu Halian looked at Lu Yu Saintess with an awful expression. Then, he glanced at Long Yinhao, who was beside her. An unfathomable killing intent flashed in his eyes. The surrounding crowd did not sense this killing intent, but Wang Xian caught it. Do you think I don't know that you guys killed Long Yinhao? Lu Yu Saintess stared at Lu Yu Halian and questioned him coldly. We killed Long Yinhao? Lu Yu, you have to have evidence before you speak. You attacked without any evidence? Lu Qingming bellowed with a pale face. If it weren't for Lu Yu Halian blocking the attack for him, he would have been killed. Huh? What? Long Yinhao was killed. Look, that's Long Yinhao. Recently, Long Yinhao and Lu Yu Saintess have been very close. After Long Yinhao obtained the inheritance from the universe ruins, he rose rapidly and was hailed as one of the most promising pinnacle sovereigns in the future. He actually fell. His aura is so weak. He must have died once. Everyone was shocked when they heard Lu Yu Saintess' words. Long Yinhao was considered one of the top experts of his generation in the sword and magic universe. After obtaining the inheritance from the universe ruins, he rose rapidly. His terrifying speed of breakthrough and his relationship with Lu Yu Saintess had made him the focus of his generation. Looking at his frail body, he must have died once. Wong Wong Wong. Wong Wong Wong. At this moment, the surrounding space fluctuated slightly. One by one, powerful figures appeared in the surroundings. 5 or 6 experts with the space attribute appeared in the surroundings. 6 old men, each with an aura no weaker than a 9th Order Universe Lord. 5 spatial experts at the 8th Order Universe Ruler Realm. A 9th Order Universe Ruler Realm spatial expert. This 9th Order Universe Lord was equivalent to a Pinnacle Universe Lord of other attributes. When they arrived, their expressions were not good. Their gazes were locked onto Lu Yu Saintess. Lu Yu Saintess, you killed the Saint Son of our Space Forbidden Zone. You have to give us an explanation. Otherwise, even if you are the Flowing Water Saintess, we will still offend you. In the middle, the 9th Order Universe Ruler Realm Space expert spoke up. Chapter 4026. The 6 experts of the Forbidden Space Zone locked their eyes on Lu Yu, their eyes filled with coldness. The flowing water Forbidden Zone's holy maiden had killed their holy son. Although they didn't dare kill her directly, they still needed an explanation. However, it was still necessary for him to give an explanation. If Holy Maiden Lu Yue couldn't do so, she would also be punished. She would be punished by the rules. After all, the Spatial Forbidden Zone was the 3rd most powerful faction on the continent. Apart from Divine Origin Creation Realm experts, the Spatial Forbidden Zone's top-notch combat power was still terrifying. Since I dared to make a move, I naturally had my reasons. Yinhao's death is related to Holy Sun Su and I, Su Jingxin, Su Fengxue, Qi Jiangping, and Qi Xiaohe. Hundreds of millions of years ago, the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone and the Innocence Forbidden Zone issued an order forbidding all disciples on the continent from killing each other. Disciples of the Spatial Forbidden Zone have violated the rules, and they must pay the price. Holy Sun Su and I isn't the only one. Holy Maiden Lu Yue looked at the experts from the Spatial Forbidden Zone and spoke coldly, unafraid. Her domineering words made the 6 experts in the Forbidden Space frown slightly. They looked to the side at Su Jingxin, Su Fengxue, and the others with questioning expressions. Su Jingxin and the others also frowned slightly and looked at Haolian Lu Yue. They hadn't expected Holy Maiden Lu Yue to be so domineering. She'd come right over and killed Holy Sun Su and I. This shocked them to the core. This situation wasn't something they could resolve. However, they weren't worried. Lu Yue, if you say we killed Long Yinhao, then show us the evidence. If you don't have any, then don't frame us. Haolian Lu Yue looked at Holy Maiden Lu Yue with an embarrassed expression. He glanced at Long Yinhao, who was standing to the side. Haolian Lu Yue, our Flowing Water Forbidden Zone has a heart-questioning technique. As long as our seniors use it, it'll be clear whether you did anything or were framed. Holy Maiden Lu Yue looked at him and smiled coldly. She looked around, and her aura shot into the sky. Seniors of the Flowing Water Forbidden Zone, please come out and uphold justice. Our Divine Origin Creation Realm experts have issued an order. If anyone dares to violate it, then they must pay the price. Holy Maiden Lu Yu shouted loudly, her voice echoing throughout the entire garrison area. Lu Yu, are you sure you want to fall out with me? When Lu Shui heard her words, his expression changed drastically as he glared at her. Holy Maiden Lu Yu did not speak. She floated quietly in the air. Hiss. Holy Daughter Lu Yu is so powerful. She wants the experts of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land to come and uphold justice and denounce us for our crimes. What a domineering woman. For the sake of her sweetheart, she actually wants to condemn Flowing Water, Haolian, and the other experts of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. She's really amazing. Very domineering, as expected of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land's Holy Maiden. The woman who has a 100% chance of stepping into the sovereign realm in the future, the pillar of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land in the future. All the experts and disciples in the surroundings were shocked when they saw this scene. She was truly a peerless beauty of her generation, Lu Yu Saintess. Ha ha ha, good, good. I admire the Lu Yu Saintess very much. Whether it's right or wrong, we'll know after investigating. Not far away, the virgin barbarian saint flew over and laughed heartily. All the experts and disciples in the surroundings were attracted by the commotion. It could be said that all the experts and disciples of the Sacred Institute and Holy Land of the Sword and Magic Universe were gathered here. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this time, streams of water appeared out of thin air in the surroundings. One by one, the experts of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land slowly appeared. 3 experts in the Peak Sovereign Realm. More than a dozen Ninth Order sovereigns. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It wasn't just the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. Peak Sovereign Realm experts from the Virgin Barbarian Forbidden Land were also flying over. Granny Yuan, Grand Elder, Second Elder. Holy Maiden Lu Yu immediately bowed when she saw the figures that had appeared. We already know what happened to you. An old woman with a walking stick in the middle looked at Holy Maiden Lu Yu and nodded. Little Yu, I'll handle this matter. Yes, Granny Yuan. Holy Maiden Lu Yu nodded when she heard this. The matter had become so big that it was no longer something she could make a decision on. Moreover, before she made her move, she had told the seniors of the flowing water, forbidden land some things. This time, she could kill Holy Sun Suanai. However, she couldn't kill everyone. The main reason was because of flowing water Halion. First, he was the grandson of the flowing water forbidden land's master, and the master of the flowing water forbidden land would protect his grandson. Second, the spatial forbidden land. The strength of the spatial forbidden land was not weak. They needed to think twice before directly killing a few of their elite core disciples. Of course, the main reason was still flowing water Halion. The flowing water forbidden land dared to kill those who broke the rules. However, if they wanted to kill, they had to kill everyone, including flowing water Halion. Otherwise, the spatial forbidden land would not accept it. If they didn't kill them all, they couldn't kill them all. This matter will be decided fairly. Long Yinhao originally had a high chance of reaching the peak sovereign realm. Now that he has fallen, it is a loss to our sword and magic universe. In view of your talent and temperament, the flowing water forbidden land is prepared to accept you as a disciple. We will do our best to restore your strength and stabilize your peak sovereign realm. Granny Yuan of the flowing water forbidden land looked at Long Yinhao and said, "Huh." Long Yinhao was slightly taken aback, and a look of astonishment appeared on his face. He didn't understand what was going on. "Hee, don't worry. You will still be a disciple of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Land. It's just that you are also a disciple of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land. We all know about your relationship with Lu Yu, and we won't object. In the future, I will prepare all the resources you need to recover. You will enjoy the cultivation resources that are higher than all the disciples of other experts." Granny Yuan saw Long Yinhao's astonished expression and continued with a smile. "Thank you, Granny Yuan." Long Yinhao opened his mouth and looked at Holy Maiden Lu Yu, who was beside him, and immediately thanked Granny Yuan. "We will continue to investigate the other matters. You naturally have to pay the price for violating the rules." At this time, the Flowing Water Forbidden Land's Grand Elder spoke up, and his gaze swept around. "Let's forget about this matter." As he spoke, his gaze turned to the experts of the Spatial Forbidden Land. "All right, then let's listen to Grand Elder and forget about this matter." The experts of the Spatial Forbidden Land saw this, looked at each other, and nodded. Although the Lu Yu Holy Maiden had killed the saint of their forbidden space zone, they understood the current situation. Ending it like this was the best choice at the moment. Wang Xian saw this scene and raised his eyebrows slightly. "Forget it?" Chapter 4027. Let it go just like that? Wang Xian glanced at Luiyue Saintis and understood. This should be the limit of what Luiyue Saintis could do. Kill a Saint Suanai. Reap some benefits for Long Yinhao. This was indeed a good choice. It was already very good to be able to do this. After all, she had offended Luiyue Halian. She had even offended some of the masters of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area. Of course, no one knew if the masters of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area took this matter to heart. If they took it to heart, it would be terrifying for Luiyue Saintis to plot against them in the future. Are there any more questions? If there are no more questions, please disperse. The Great Elder of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area looked around and fixed his eyes on Long Yinhao. No problem. Long Yinhao felt the gaze of the Great Elder of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area and responded immediately. The Great Elder of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area should be closer to the Master of the Flowing Water Forbidden Area and more protective of Luiyue Halian. Granny Yuan should be closer to Luiyue Saintis. Wang Xian thought to himself when he saw this scene. He squinted his eyes slightly. If Long Yinhao was just the saint of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Area, this would indeed be a very good result. But Long Yinhao was not just the saint of the Roaring Dragon Forbidden Area. He was also Wang Xian's brother-in-law. Something's wrong. As soon as Long Yinhao finished his sentence, Wang Xian made a move and flew forward a little. He glanced at Luiyue Halian. At this moment, Luiyue Halian was staring at Long Yinhao with hatred and coldness. Perhaps, if there was a chance, he would attack Long Yinhao again. If he attacked again, he might not purposely show up to taunt like the last time. The sudden appearance of Wang Xian and his sudden words stunned everyone. Even the great elder of the flowing water forbidden area, Lui Saintis, and Long Yinin looked at Wang Xian with astonishment. Brother Wang Xian. Long Yinin's expression changed drastically. He quickly flew to his side and transmitted a message to her. Forget about this matter. It has been resolved very well. It's okay. Don't say anything. Leave the rest to me. I still have some things to settle here. Wang Xian shook his head at him and swept his gaze across everyone. The creation realm cultivators of the omniscient Forbidden Land and the flowing water Forbidden Land have decreed that anyone who breaks the rules must pay the price in blood. Long Yinhao's matter cannot be let off so easily. In addition, I also have some matters that I need the help of the forbidden space. As he spoke, his gaze finally fell on the group of experts from the forbidden space. Hiss? What? What? What's going on? I wonder why Saint Wang Xian suddenly opened his mouth. What did he want to do? Does he know what he's doing? This Saint Wang Xian hasn't appeared for hundreds of millions of years. How dare he openly refute the experts of the flowing water Forbidden Land? Also, he has some matters that he needs the experts of the space Forbidden Land to settle? When the surrounding experts and disciples saw Wang Xian suddenly flying out, their faces were filled with shock and astonishment. The eyes of the barbarian saint and the rest also fell on Wang Xian. Hundreds of millions of years ago, Wang Xian could be said to be a dark horse that appeared out of nowhere and suppressed all the saints and saintesses. He was the strongest expert of the same generation. This was something that was publicly acknowledged. However, he suddenly disappeared for hundreds of millions of years and hadn't appeared since. Today was the first time he suddenly appeared. Let the forbidden space, Forbidden Land settle this? When the experts of the space Forbidden Land heard Wang Xian, they narrowed their eyes and revealed a cold expression. They might have some reservations about Saintess Luiwe, but they wouldn't have any reservations about Wang Xian. They were the third forbidden space, Forbidden Land in the sword and sorcery universe. Wang Xian looked at them and smiled. With a wave of his arm, a ball appeared in his hand. In the ball, there were 8 figures. These 8 figures were the people from Mount Wu Hongshan who had attacked Wang Xian previously. The previous generation's saint and the rest of the experts of the space Forbidden Land. They had been imprisoned by Wang Xian for more than 400 million years. In the space of this small ball, they had suffered excruciating torment. Elder, save us. Save us. Elder, save us. Save us. When they appeared, they immediately sensed the situation outside. When they saw the experts of the space Forbidden Land, a glimmer of hope appeared on their faces as they shouted with all their might. After being imprisoned here for more than 400 million years, time and pain had almost driven them to the brink of collapse. They cried for help loudly and looked extremely miserable. Mount Wu Hongshan. The 6 experts of the space Forbidden Land and the surrounding experts of the space Forbidden Land were shocked when they saw the 8 of them. The leader of the experts from the space Forbidden Land had a cold look in his eyes. He waved his arm and a terrifying force of space shrouded them. Wang Xian looked on and didn't feel anything. 400 million years ago, they attacked me. They wanted to kill me. I didn't kill them because I knew they could be resurrected. Since they wanted to kill me, they naturally had to pay the price with their lives. It wasn't just a simple resurrection. I guess so. As Wang Xian spoke, he waved his arm and the scene of them attacking 400 million years ago appeared. Do they have to pay the price for breaking the rules? Don't you want the experts of the space Forbidden Land to give us an explanation? Wang Xian looked at them and continued speaking plainly. Damn, there's such a thing? More than 400 million years ago, the experts of the space Forbidden Land attacked Saint Wang Xian? The saint of the space Forbidden Land, Wu Hongshan, is a 7th-order sovereign. To think that he was imprisoned by Saint Wang Xian for more than 400 million years. This Saint Wang Xian must have some powerful defensive treasures on him. This Saint Wang Xian was able to trap Wu Hongshan and the rest 400 million years ago. What kind of trump card does he have? This Saint Wang Xian is the most mysterious and no one knows his background. When the surrounding experts and disciples heard Wang Xian's words and saw the scene on the screen, they were shocked. All of them were discussing softly. Elder, Elder, we didn't attack him. We didn't want to kill him. He trapped us for more than 400 million years and wanted to kill us. At this time, Wu Hongshan's furious voice sounded from the front. He was in a miserable state as he shouted at the experts of the Space Forbidden Land. Outrageous! How dare you imprison the experts of our Space Forbidden Land? You must be courting death. The Ninth Order Sovereign Expert in the center of the Space Forbidden Land roared at Wang Xian with a cold face. He was filled with killing intent. Chapter 4028. Outrageous! How dare you imprison the experts of our Forbidden Land? You're courting death. The experts of the Forbidden Land shouted with murderous intent. They stared at Wang Xian with cold eyes. Their eyes were bloodshot. This Wang Xian actually dared to openly challenge their forbidden space zone. Did he really think he was the Louis Saintus? Did they really think that their forbidden space could be questioned by just anyone? Hee. Wang Xian looked at them and felt the aura from them. His face was filled with disdain and coldness. He licked his lips and stared at them. Seems like you guys aren't going to give me an explanation? This? Beside him, Louis Saintus looked at Wang Xian with narrowed eyes. She glanced at Long Yinhao and saw his worried expression. Then, she stared at the experts of the Forbidden Land. So the Forbidden Land is a habitual offender. Your disciples not only attacked Long Yinhao but also Wang Xian. Do you really think you can kill whoever you want? Louis Saintus said coldly. She looked at the seniors of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land and said, Great Elder, Second Elder, please investigate this matter. Killing the future experts of our sword and sorcery universe is unforgivable. It's hard to judge what happened 400 million years ago. At that time, our sword and sorcery universe didn't have a rule forbidding killing. This rule was only issued 200 million years ago. Louis Saintus, you really like to meddle in other people's business. Before the two elders could say anything, Louis Saintus stood there and spoke coldly. No matter when it happened, the actions of the experts of the Forbidden Land. All right, Louis Saintus wanted to say something but was stopped by Granny Yuan. She shook her head at her. Don't offend the Forbidden Land. They aren't weak. Although they aren't as strong as us, they still have many experts. Don't get involved in this matter. Granny Yuan transmitted her voice to Louis Saintus. Louis Saintus had already offended the Flowing Water Forbidden Land today. However, she had her own reasons for doing so. The Forbidden Land wouldn't take it to heart. But things were different now. If Louis Saintus continued to interfere, the experts of the Forbidden Land might bear a grudge against her. Once a famous spear was dodged, it was hard to defend against a hidden arrow. There was nothing he could do if he was tricked in the future. Therefore, he could not participate in this matter. You're Saint Wang Xian, right? Let's forget about this matter. Forget about the people in the forbidden space as well, said Granny Yuan to Wang Xian and the experts from the Forbidden Land of Space. He wanted to resolve this matter. This matter isn't so easy to settle. The spatial restricted zone must give me an explanation. Also, the matter of Long Yinhao must be explained. Today, I want a perfect solution for all of this. Upon hearing Granny Yuan's words, Wang Xian shook his head impassively without any change in his expression. He said, Haha, this is the biggest joke in the world. You want our forbidden space to give you an explanation? Who do you think you are? Brat, there's a rule now that you can't act. However, you dared to provoke our forbidden space zone. Even if there are rules, you still have to die. You dared to question our forbidden space zone. Who gave you the courage? Who gave you this background? One of the Eighth Order Universe Sovereigns from the Forbidden Space Zone laughed maniacally as he stared coldly at Wang Xian. The aura from his body rose gradually as he stared at Wang Xian. Everyone in the surroundings froze when they saw this scene. What is this Saint Wang Xian trying to do? He doesn't seem to know what's going on. More than 400 million years ago, the experts from the Forbidden Space Zone attacked him. This is indeed a little hard to say. After all, the obscene Forbidden Space and the Flowing Water Forbidden Space did not issue a ban on killing 400 million years ago. If Wang Xian really provokes the Forbidden Space Zone now, the experts from the Forbidden Space Zone might really take action. The Forbidden Space Zone is ranked third in our sword and sorcery universe after all. Lu Yu, the Saintess, killed one of their saints. The Forbidden Space Zone won't say anything because she has a strong background. But if Wang Xian wants an explanation from the Forbidden Space Zone, it's a different story. The experts from the Forbidden Space Zone are a little infuriated. Without the intervention of the obscene Forbidden Space and the flowing water Forbidden Space, I'm afraid it won't end peacefully. All the experts and disciples in the surroundings discussed softly when they saw this scene. They were amazed by Wang Xian's boldness, but he was facing the Forbidden Space Zone after all. Saint Wang Xian, this matter is indeed hard to resolve. You'd better back off quickly. The unbarbarian saint of the obscene Forbidden Space frowned when he saw this scene. He sent a voice transmission to Wang Xian to remind him. In that case, if the Forbidden Space Zone doesn't give me a solution, I'll have to settle it myself. Wang Xian stood there, unmoved by the voices around him. His face revealed a cold expression as he spoke indifferently. Holy Son Wang Xian, you're courting death. Everyone says that you have a mysterious background. Today, let's see what kind of background you have. How dare you be so insolent and arrogant? How dare you provoke our Forbidden Space Zone? If you can't give us an explanation today, I'll kill you myself. The experts from the Forbidden Space Zone, Su Jingshan, stared coldly at Wang Xian. A powerful aura was released from his body. The strength of a seventh-order universe sovereign had completely sealed off Wang Xian. He was ready to strike at any time. The eyes of the experts and disciples in the surroundings flickered when they saw this scene. You guys settle this matter yourselves. The flowing water Forbidden Space will not interfere. The great elder of the flowing water Forbidden Space said coldly when he saw this scene. His gaze swept across the experts from the Forbidden Space Zone. His meaning was clear. You guys can settle it yourselves. Even if you have to kill someone, it doesn't matter. My background? I don't have any background. My background is me. Wang Xian smiled faintly when he heard Su Jingshan's words. Swish, swish, swish. Swish, swish, swish. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Dragon King. At this moment, a terrifying sword radiance suddenly appeared at the side. The sword aura soared into the sky, exuding a terrifying sword aura. Every single one of them had the aura of a fifth-order universe sovereign. The leader, Roving Sword, had already reached the seventh-order universe sovereign realm. There were tens of thousands of these figures. They were glowing in golden light as they flew towards Wang Xian. Other than them, there were 10 black dragons at the front. An eighth-order universe sovereign realm demonic dragon. Chapter 4029. Tens of thousands of figures flew towards Wang Xian. The aura of the soaring sword aura. Each and every one of those sharp sword gleams. All the experts and disciples of the sacred grounds, forbidden grounds, and sacred institute were filled with shock. This is? So many experts in the sovereign realm. The weakest is a fifth-order sovereign. Look at the energy in their bodies. Their combat strength is terrifying. What a terrifying sword radiance. What sword technique is this? Each and every one of them is like an incomparably sharp sword. SSS? What's going on? What's going on? Dragon King? Why did these tens of thousands of experts address Saint Wang Xian as the Dragon King? King? This group of experts is from the Void Dragon Sacred Ground. At the front is the Saint of the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground. Their aura is so strong and sharp. Why did he address Wang Xian as Dragon King? What's their relationship with Wang Xian? Wang Xian, the Saint, is extremely mysterious. The Void Dragon Forbidden Ground is also very mysterious. All this while, no forces have found out about their background. They really have a deep relationship. Is the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground going against the Space Forbidden Ground? Wang Xian, the Saint, said that his background is himself. In the surrounding area, everyone saw Roving Sword and the group of experts suddenly flying over. Their faces were filled with shock. The Void Dragon Forbidden Ground was a mysterious forbidden ground that suddenly appeared hundreds of millions of years ago. It occupied the territory of the Lunar Void Forbidden Ground. At that time, The Void Dragon Forbidden Ground did not attract the attention of the powerful Sacred Grounds and Sacred Institute. However, the Saint of the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground emerged like a dark horse in the rankings of the outstanding talents. The Void Dragon Forbidden Ground entered everyone's sights. This Void Dragon Forbidden Ground made all the forces and experts feel a little mysterious, because no forces had found out about their background. Where did they come from? How strong were they? Wang Xian, the saint, was also extremely mysterious. Even the thoughtful Forbidden Ground and the flowing water Forbidden Ground had checked on Wang Xian's information. However, they did not find anything. This saint, Wang Xian, seemed to have appeared out of thin air. He was as mysterious as the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground. Now, the group of experts from the Void Dragon Saint, a group of Soaring Sword Aura experts, addressed Wang Xian as Dragon King. Everyone could hear this form of address. Not simple. Haha, the Void Dragon Forbidden Land. Are you taking the initiative to provoke the spatial Forbidden Land? If you take the initiative to seek your own destruction, don't blame us for not intervening. The great elder of the flowing water Forbidden Land swept his gaze across Roving Sword and the others, his expression unwavering. Even though the strength displayed by the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground was strong, and there were many Fifth Order Universe Sovereigns and above, the strongest was only in the Eighth Order Universe Sovereign realm. He didn't care about this strength at all. So what if there was a peak Cosmos Sovereign Realm expert in the Void Dragon Forbidden Land? How dare this holy son Wang Xian say there was a problem just now? The flowing water Forbidden Land had already decided on this matter, yet he still dared to say that there was a problem. He was simply courting death. Therefore, he did not plan to intervene in the matters of the Void Dragon Forbidden Land and the Space Forbidden Land. And the strength of the Forbidden Space Zone was very terrifying. A peak universe ruler realm expert. The taboo lord of the Forbidden Space was the strongest person below the creation realm. With such strength, how dare this saint of the Void Dragon Forbidden Ground, Wang Xian, provoke him? He was simply courting death. I'll make sure you give me an explanation for the matter here. Wang Xian said coldly upon hearing the words of the great elder of the flowing water Forbidden Land. SSS, this holy son Wang Xian? Damn, did he say that to the great elder of the flowing water Forbidden Land? Isn't this holy son Wang Xian a little too arrogant? How dare he say such words to the great elder of the flowing water Forbidden Land? Is he courting death? When the surrounding people heard Wang Xian's words, their faces were filled with astonishment. Ha ha ha, courting death, courting death. This is your background? A small Void Dragon Forbidden Land, and you dare to provoke our Space Forbidden Land with just these few experts? Fine, I'll slaughter all of you today, and let you know the consequences of offending our Space Forbidden Land. The Ninth Order Universe Sovereign Realm expert, leading the Space Forbidden Land, laughed maniacally. As he spoke, a terrifying space domain instantly expanded towards the surroundings. In an instant, Wang Xian and the others were surrounded. In the surroundings of this space, terrifying cracks formed one after another. Once he launched an attack, everyone in this space would suffer a terrifying attack. An attack comparable to a pinnacle sovereign realm expert. Big Brother Wang Xian, Long Yining and Long Yinhao, who were beside Wang Xian, saw this scene. Their faces were filled with worry. All the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Lands, Sacred Grounds, and Sacred Institute saw this scene with flickering eyes. This holy son Wang Xian's background is this Void Dragon Forbidden Land? Is it himself? If that's the case, isn't he courting death? When Wang Xian heard the exclamations of Long Yining and Long Yinhao, he turned around with a smile and smiled at them, to tell them not to worry. Hee, yes, this is my background. My background is me. At this time, a figure riding a one-horned, one-eyed, bull-like magical beast appeared out of thin air. The figure sat on the magical beast with a smile on his face. Wang Xian's real body had arrived. Huh, how did he appear? Who is he? Why does he look exactly like that holy son Wang Xian? This person? Wang Xian appeared out of thin air without the slightest fluctuation. His sudden words made all the surrounding experts and disciples look over. Their eyes narrowed and their faces were filled with shock. His appearance was exactly the same as Holy Sun Wang Xian. Who is he? What's going on? In the flowing water Forbidden Land, Granny Yuan's face changed slightly when she saw Wang Xian appear out of thin air. Wang Xian was only a few thousand meters away from them. This distance was too close for them. But at such a close distance, they did not see how Wang Xian appeared. This made him very shocked. Under his energy detection, he could not sense Wang Xian's strength. Even the magical beast he was sitting on could not sense his strength. This? Long Yining looked at Wang Xian and then at the other Wang Xian. Her mouth was slightly agape, and her face was filled with shock. She could not tell. Since the forbidden space, Forbidden Land cannot give me a satisfactory answer, then I can only do something that satisfies me. Wang Xian looked at the group of experts in the forbidden space, Forbidden Land. I'll wipe you all out. Finally, he spat out 5 words slowly. Chapter 40:30. Annihilate all of you. As soon as Wang Xian finished his sentence, everyone was stunned. When everyone heard this sentence, all the experts from the hallowed grounds and forbidden grounds were slightly stunned when they heard this, and their faces were filled with astonishment and shock. This? Did I hear wrongly? What did he say? Annihilate the entire forbidden space? Hiss? This? Where did Wang Xian get his courage and confidence from? Isn't this too arrogant? I don't know. Is he crazy? Annihilate the entire forbidden space? Without a heavenly Yuan creation realm expert, which force dares to say they can annihilate the entire forbidden space? Without a heavenly Yuan creation realm expert, not even thoughtful forbidden ground and flowing water forbidden ground can annihilate the entire forbidden space. All the experts and disciples around him opened their mouths wide when they heard this. Their faces were filled with shock. The group of experts and disciples in the forbidden space zone were also slightly taken aback when they heard this. Ha ha ha. Annihilate the entire forbidden space? Ha ha ha. This is the funniest joke I've heard since I was born. Ha ha ha. Are you trying to kill me? At the side, the saint of the forbidden void land, Su Jingshan, laughed maniacally. He seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. He, Su Jingshan, was an expert from the forbidden space. His seniors were all top-notch experts. In fact, his great-grandfather was an expert at the pinnacle of the universe Lord Realm. One of the pinnacle of the universe Lord Realm experts of the forbidden space. In the entire universe of swords and sorcery, there were only 2 people who dared to say they could annihilate the entire forbidden space. Only those 2 existences. The others were not qualified to be compared to the forbidden space. And now, someone said he wanted to annihilate the entire forbidden space? To him, this was the funniest joke in the world. Hee hee. The rest of the experts and disciples from the forbidden space also sneered coldly. Hee hee, is what my boss said funny? At this moment, Qilin Bull heard Su Jingshan's words and looked at him with his single eye. He sneered and asked, "If you want to die of laughter, then die of laughter." As Qilin Bull spoke, his single eye flashed. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. The next moment, Su Jingshan opened his mouth and laughed maniacally. However, to everyone's horror, as he laughed, his body began to collapse bit by bit. Although he was laughing heartily, his eyes and his face were filled with fear and despair. His body trembled violently. That magical beast is actually speaking? Look, God Void shock. His body is collapsing. What happened to him? Hiss. The Qilin Bull suddenly spoke. Su Jingshan suddenly laughed maniacally as his body started to collapse. This horrifying scene caused everyone to reveal a horrified expression. Magical beasts could actually speak? Without anyone noticing, Su Jingshan's body suddenly started to crumble. What? Courting death. Kill them. When the experts in the forbidden space saw this scene, their expressions changed drastically. The leading rank 9 universe ruler expert waved his arm. The space domain that had just been condensed directly attacked the Qilin Bull. Reckless fool. The Qilin Bull looked over and saw that the scales on its body were flashing with special runes. The symbols disappeared one by one. None of the experts and disciples present saw how the symbols disappeared. Even the surrounding pinnacle universe ruler experts. The Qilin Bull's strength was equivalent to Wang Xian before he broke through. Back then, Wang Xian was an expert at the universe sovereign realm, and he could easily kill him instantly. The Qilin Bull could naturally kill spatial attribute rank 9 universe rulers. Ah. In an instant, the bodies of the 6 rank 8 and rank 9 universe rulers also started to crumble. Their faces were filled with fear, and the intense pain caused them to scream in agony. No. How is this possible? The leader of the group of Ninth Order sovereigns stared at the Qilin Bull with a look of disbelief on his face. That magical beast's body was shining with light, and they could feel an extremely violent and irresistible force entering their bodies, tearing their bodies apart. How was this possible? What kind of existence was this magical beast? How dare you yell at my boss? Today, my boss says that he will destroy your forbidden space. In the entire universe of swords and sorcery, no one can protect you. The Qilin Bull stared at them and said disdainfully, Wang. The energy on his body trembled slightly, and the life force of the 6 forbidden space experts gradually dissipated. Their bodies crumbled and their flesh and blood disintegrated. Wang Xian flew down from the Qilin Bull and waved his arm in front of him. He wanted to test out his current strength. His current strength? Netherworld Dragon Pursuit. With a thought, Wang Xian used a skill. Netherworld Dragon Pursuit was a skill that pursued and attacked. This skill could be said to be the upgraded version of the No Beginning Sacred Wings. After killing an expert, if the other party could revive, then all he had to do was to leave the power of wind and lightning on the other party. Then he could use Netherworld Dragon Pursuit. He would immediately open up a void passage and instantly arrive at the place of revival. This skill was a little useless, and Wang Xian had never used it before, because if he wanted to pursue the other party, he would have to enter the other party's nest. This was extremely dangerous for him, but now that his strength had increased, he had no qualms about pursuing the other party's nest to the forbidden space. The experts of the forbidden space wanted to kill him. Moreover, he had killed Long Yinhao. Since they did not give him a satisfactory answer, then perish. Arg. The life force of the 6 experts of the forbidden space and Su Jingshan disappeared rapidly. Among them, Wang Xian could clearly sense that 3 of them had the means to revive. Rumble. He grabbed forward with his arm, and a black hole gradually formed in front of him. The black hole was a few thousand meters wide. Through this black hole, he could vaguely see the situation inside. That was the place where the experts of the forbidden space resurrected. That was the nest of the forbidden space. From here, Wang Xian could instantly reach the forbidden space. Boss, that's the nest of the forbidden space? Qilin Bull asked as he looked at the black hole. He was also shocked by Wang Xian's means. Yes, the place where the experts of the forbidden space resurrected. Wang Xian said plainly, Boss, leave it to me. It's just a small forbidden space. You don't have to do anything. Old Bull, can annihilate them. Qilin Bull looked at the black hole and said loudly. With a loud roar, his body instantly grew to a size of a few thousand meters and dived into the black hole. Chapter 4031. All right. Wang Xian nodded as he saw Qilin heading over to destroy the forbidden space zone. With a wave of his arm, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and 5 Elements Great Grindstone landed on him. Wang Xian's doppelgangers were in the 5 Elements Great Grindstone and Tai Chi Dragon Plate. He could also see the situation over there. If Qilin couldn't win, he would strike again. However, with the 5 Elements Great Grindstone and Tai Chi Dragon Plate, it shouldn't be a problem for Qilin to destroy the forbidden space zone. Ha, boss, leave it to me. The Qilin Bull laughed heartily, and with a flash, it flew into the black hole. Forbidden space zone, your doomsday is here. Die. Qilin roared as he entered the black hole. A terrifying aura enveloped the entire forbidden space zone. The overwhelming aura of the demonic beast enveloped the entire lair of the forbidden space zone. On their side, they could also hear his berserk roar. Wang Xian smiled faintly as he supported the black hole passage with his energy. He looked on expressionlessly. A strong enemy is invading? Oh no, What level is this demonic beast? All experts of the Forbidden Space Zone, get ready. Shout for the Lord of the Forbidden Space Zone to beat us up. Shout for our Laozu. The shocked and furious roars of the experts of the Forbidden Space Zone rang out from within the black hole. This? At this moment, all the experts and disciples of the Sacred Institute and Forbidden Grounds were dumbfounded. Their faces were filled with shock and horror. All of them were in disbelief, especially when they looked at the position of the black hole. All the experts couldn't help but tremble. This place was very far from the lair of the Forbidden Space Zone. And then, that holy son Wang Xian. No, Wang Xian, who was known as the Dragon King, had opened a passageway. What shocked them the most was the demonic beast that could speak human language just now. They couldn't tell how it did it, but it killed all the experts of the Forbidden Space Zone instantly. One had to know that there were Ninth Order sovereigns among them. This Ninth Order Universe sovereign expert was comparable to the Great Elder, Second Elder, and Granny Yuan of the Forbidden Water Zone. Such a terrifying expert was instantly killed by that demonic beast. What level of existence was that magical beast? Even if it wasn't a heavenly origin creation realm magical beast, it wasn't something a peak sovereign realm expert could compare to. In fact, it might even destroy the Forbidden Space Zone. In that case, such a terrifying existence was merely the mount of the Dragon King, the saint of Wang Xian. In that case, what kind of existence was this person? A terrifying thought suddenly appeared in their minds. Impossible? It couldn't be an existence above the ruler level, could it? Could it be the heavenly origin fortune? This? The flowing water forbidden area? Granny Yuan, the Great Elder, and the Second Elder of the flowing water forbidden land. Even the sovereign realm experts who had rushed over from the other forbidden lands, holy grounds, and sacred academy were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. The Qilin bull's strength was so powerful that it made them feel terrified and aghast. Even though that devil beast's strength hasn't reached the heavenly origin fortune realm, its battle prowess is more than enough to kill a peak sovereign realm expert. A peak sovereign realm expert from the thoughtful forbidden land muttered in shock. He looked at Wang Xian, who was floating in the air. Dumbfounded, completely dumbfounded. What kind of existence was this? Since when did such a terrifying expert appear in the universe of swords and sorcery? Such a horrifying expert. Was he the heavenly origin fortune realm? He felt that there was at least a 50% chance. Because if he wasn't the heavenly origin fortune realm, how could he have made such a terrifying devil beast his mount? Shocking. Shocking. At this time, Flowing Water Halian, Lu Qingming, and several other experts and disciples of the Flowing Water Forbidden Land, even Su Fangxue, Qi Jiangping, Qi Xiaohe, and all the experts from the Forbidden Space were dumbfounded. All of them had participated in the killing of Long Yinhao. At this moment, they were in a daze, especially the experts and disciples of the surrounding Forbidden Land. In the surrounding area, there were still several thousand experts and disciples from the Forbidden Space Zone. Just now, the Qilin bull had only killed a few of them. Many experts and disciples of the Forbidden Land were still gathered in the surroundings. In the end, that terrifying devil beast was already charging towards their lair in the Forbidden Land. It was going to destroy their Forbidden Land. As for the young figure in front, his strength was even more unfathomable. In fact, he seemed to be an existence of that realm. This? Damn, brother-in-law, you? Long Yinhao stood there in a daze, his eyes wide open. At this moment, he was in a trance and similarly couldn't believe it. This brother-in-law of his? What kind of existence was this? Big brother Wang Xian. Which one is you? Long Yining couldn't help but ask again, his small face also filled with shock. Both are me, there's no difference. Wang Xian looked at Long Yining and said with a smile. The body of the void divine dragon at the side gradually disappeared. Brother-in-law, big brother Wang Xian, is that your doppelganger? Your doppelganger? Long Yinhao asked in a daze. I guess so. Because of an accidental opportunity, I obtained a doppelganger and ordered it to cultivate the attributes. In essence, there's no difference. Wang Xian smiled and answered again. Then big brother, Are you the existence of heavenly origin fortune realm? Long Inhao's eyes widened as he continued to ask. His question made the hearts of the surrounding people tighten as they stared at him. They looked at Wang Xian with some trepidation, waiting for his answer, especially the great elder of the flowing water forbidden area and the others, who clenched their fists tightly. Whether he was the heavenly origin fortune realm or not was very important to them, because the signal that Wang Xian had just expressed, it wasn't friendly to them, and the actions that they had shown just now had also provoked this existence. I haven't reached the realm yet. Wang Xian didn't hide and answered directly. His words made many people in the field heave a sigh of relief, but the next sentence made everyone's eyes widen. In terms of combat strength, I can only be sure after I clash with the heavenly origin fortune realm. This was Wang Xian's second sentence. Yes, next, he was going to clash with the heavenly origin fortune realm. The heavenly origin fortune realm experts of the sword and sorcery universe would also definitely clash with Wang Xian, because next, after Wang Xian dealt with the forbidden space forbidden area, he was going to deal with the flowing water forbidden area. Some experts of the flowing water forbidden area had to die. This? Big brother, brother-in-law. I'll be your brother-in-law from now on. You'll be my biggest thigh in the future. When Long Yinhao heard this, he roared with excitement. Chapter 4032. This, in the surroundings, all the experts from the sacred grounds and the sacred institute were listening to their conversation. Looking at this scene, their faces were filled with shock. In fact, many experts couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva as they watched with their mouths agape. Who the hell was this person? This lord said that we'll know after clashing with the Sky Yuan and Creation Realm experts? What does he mean by that? I don't know. What kind of existence is he? Why didn't our sword and sorcery universe have such a character in the past? That Wang Xian saint seems to be just his doppelganger. No wonder he's so terrifying. However, why did he allow his doppelganger to cultivate the power of space? How did he do it? Look at the black hole. There's a huge battle going on there. All the experts and disciples were discussing through voice transmissions. Their faces were filled with shock. At this time, they looked at the black hole. From the black hole, they could vaguely see the situation in the forbidden space. There, a huge battle had already broken out. They could see a horrifying demonic beast wreaking havoc in the forbidden space. The demonic beast was exuding a monstrous aura. The scales on its body were flashing with special symbols. Around the demonic beast, a large number of experts from the forbidden space surrounded it and stared at it with vigilance. The Qilin bull roared deeply. The scales on its body exploded with terrifying power and attacked the surroundings. Block. The master of the forbidden space and the group of old ancestors of the forbidden space were shocked when they saw this. They immediately roared loudly. How did our forbidden space offend you? Why do you want to annihilate our forbidden space? A peak universe Lord Realm old ancestor of the forbidden space could feel the terrifying aura coming from the Qilin bull. He couldn't help but roar. The experts and disciples of the forbidden space are courting death. If my boss wants to annihilate you, no one can save you. The Qilin bull stared at them with a violent aura. As he spoke, the runes condensed into various kinds of violent magical beasts, covering the sky and covering the earth as they attacked the surroundings. Space Magical Array, activate. Mountain Defense Array, activate. One voice after another rang out. In the old lair of the forbidden space, all the experts and disciples in the forbidden space were hovering in the air with ugly expressions. They looked at the towering Qilin bull with fear. Their space forbidden zone had 4 universe ruler realm experts. In the past, they had believed that they were the strongest existences below the heavenly origin fortune level. But today, this magical beast that could speak the human tongue had suddenly charged over. They were terrified. They could clearly sense the terrifying energy contained within the demonic beast's body, which could easily destroy them. How was this possible? In addition, the magical beast's words made them feel terrified. His boss wanted to destroy their forbidden space zone? This caused all the experts from the Forbidden Space Zone to look at the black hole. Over there might be an even more powerful existence. Could this existence be the fortune of Tianyuan? How did their forbidden space provoke such a terrifying existence? All the experts and disciples in the forbidden space were terrified. The Grand Mountain Protecting Array and the various array formations in the nest were all activated. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying explosions rang out. The Cheelin Bull's attack landed on their array, causing their Grand Mountain Protecting Array to shake violently. The energy dissipated rapidly. Perhaps their Grand Mountain Protecting Array wouldn't last much longer. Attack! The master of the Forbidden Space Zone roared furiously. He wielded a huge sword and slashed at the Cheelin Bull. Around him, the other 3 Universe Ruler Realm experts also started to counterattack. Roar, roar. The Cheelin Bull roared, its single horn emitting radiance. The Cheelin Bull soared into the sky, as though it was breaking through the sky. He lowered his head slightly. The terrifying energy from the Cheelin Bull's horn headed towards the sword of space. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. The Cheelin Bull's horn swept across, terrifying dark energy, earth, and metal energy. The 3 elements chaotically gathered together. The Cheelin Bull's horn swept in all directions. Terrifying collision sounds rang out once again. The attacks of the 4 peak Cosmos Sovereigns in the Forbidden Space slowly crumbled when they collided with each other. But the Cheelin Bull's attack did not dissipate. How is this possible? What level is this demonic beast at? One of the ancestor of the Forbidden Space Zone roared in shock. The Cheelin Bull stared at them, its body going berserk again. The scales on its body started to emit a blood-red aura. It started to transform. His entire body was covered in blood-red scales. His entire body was like a terrifying war machine. The Cheelin Bull directly charged towards one of the Universe Ruler Realm experts of the Forbidden Space Zone. That horn was flowing with light. Block. The experts of the Forbidden Space Zone saw this and immediately roared, blocking. Boom, boom. However, against the Cheelin Bull's charge, all the energy that landed on it could not stop its body at all. The Cheelin Bull's incomparably huge body crashed towards the Grand Mountain Protecting Array of the Forbidden Space Zone. His horn directly smashed through the formation. His body was squeezed inwards. Master of the Forbidden Space, the array is about to break. Horrified voices rang out, especially the experts of the Universe Ruler Realm below the 8th Order. Without the protection of the array, just the shockwaves from the Cheelin Bull's attack would be enough to kill them. This battle was not something they could participate in. This demonic beast is too terrifying. Our Forbidden Space Zone is no match for it. The master of the Forbidden Space Zone trembled. His expression was incomparably solemn. His breathing was slightly hurried, and his eyes were bloodshot. All the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Space Zone enter the spatial Aquarius, quickly. At this moment, the Cheelin Bull had already broken through their Grand Mountain Protecting Array. The runes on the scales turned into all kinds of demonic beasts, mountains, swords, and sabers that wreaked havoc in the surroundings. Ah! Some of the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Space Zone who were closer could not even react in time, and were crushed and killed by the terrifying attack. The Cheelin Bull's gaze locked onto the master of the Forbidden Space Zone, and instantly charged towards him. Master of the Forbidden Space Zone, quickly escape. Let's all enter the spatial Aquarius and seek help from Lord Tianyuan Fate. Seek help from Lord Tianyuan Fate. An ancestor of the Forbidden Space Zone saw the Cheelin Bull lock onto the master of the Forbidden Space Zone and shouted loudly. Chapter 4033. Run. The master of the Forbidden Zone saw the Cheelin Bull charging towards him. His heart trembled as he roared loudly. Run. He had to run. Otherwise, he would die here. Their Forbidden Zone had a treasure bottle that could protect their lives. However, entering the space bottle was something they would only use when they were in a desperate situation. They would only use it when facing a terrifying enemy like the creation of Sky Yuan. Moreover, this space bottle had a huge drawback. Once they entered, they would not be able to sense the situation outside. Moreover, Once the space bottle was obtained by the enemy, they could only wait for death. However, this space bottle had a strong point. Once they entered, even the creation of Sky Yuan would find it difficult to break it. Unless they were in a desperate situation, they would never enter the forbidden zone to hide. However, they had also made some arrangements for this space bottle. As long as they entered the space bottle, it would instantly teleport them to an extremely distant and secretive place. At that time, they could quickly come out of the space bottle and escape. Of course, there was a certain level of risk. All the experts and disciples of the Forbidden Zone, hurry up and enter. We will hold them off for a while. The Patriarch of the Forbidden Zone roared loudly. The three patriarchs waved the space sword in their hands, and the terrifying power of space sliced through the void. They slashed towards the Qilin Bull. The Qilin Bull's body glowed brightly. He did not dodge at all, and continued to attack the master of the Forbidden Zone. His speed was extremely terrifying. Under the powerful energy interference and fluctuations, the master of the Forbidden Zone could not teleport away. Without teleportation, his speed was much slower when facing the Qilin Bull. Amaterasu's sword. The master of the Forbidden Zone roared as the giant sword in his hand floated in front of him, forming a terrifying defense. Boom, boom, boom. However, at this moment, the Qilin Bull charged over. The giant sword was sent flying and landed on the body of the master of the Forbidden Zone. The master of the Forbidden Zone spat out a large amount of blood, and his face turned extremely pale. More than half of his body dissipated from the collision. With the circulation of energy, he reformed again. The strength of the Qilin Bull was not something they could contend with. Even though they were powerful spatial attribute experts, the Qilin Ox was, after all, an existence born from the fall of heaven's origin. Once it came into contact with the fortune of Tian Yuan, it was not something they could compare to. Bam bam bam. The master of the forbidden space was heavily injured by the Qilin Bull. The attacks of the other three patriarchs from the forbidden space also landed on the Qilin Ox. His body froze. Buzz. Making use of this short period of time, the master of the forbidden space hurriedly teleported and escaped. Roar. The Qilin Bull let out a deep roar, and the violent energy from its body swept out in all directions. No. Some of the experts who didn't manage to escape in time let out roars of despair. The three patriarchs of the forbidden space resisted the attack of the Qilin Bull with great difficulty. Their figures flashed, and they instantly teleported towards the space Aquarius. Without the slightest hesitation, they directly entered the interior of the bottle. Since the arrival of the Qilin Ox, in the short span of 10 minutes, a large number of buildings in the forbidden space had been turned into ruins. All the experts and disciples fled into the vase. However, there were still hundreds of thousands of corpses of the experts and disciples of the forbidden space left in the surroundings. The number of experts and disciples in the forbidden space was very small. There were less than 1 million of them in total. Now, at least 1/3 of them had died in a short period of time. This was a battle on a completely different level. They couldn't resist the Qilin Bull at all. Roar. The Qilin Bull sensed something when he saw them escaping instantly. He opened his mouth and spat out violent energy flames in one direction. Boom, boom, boom. The energy swept across, and all the buildings were instantly turned into nothingness. Even a large area of the ground had disappeared. At the bottom, there was an intact vase in the middle. On the surface of the vase, there was a flickering space force. Are they trying to escape? At the same time, at the 8th level of the Devil Beast Abyss, on the courtyard, Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly as he looked at the battle in the black hole. The group of experts from the forbidden space actually didn't put up much resistance and just wanted to escape directly. Even the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the 5 Elements Grindstone had not started their attacks. They wanted to escape directly. Wang Xian had thought that the forbidden space would have a powerful trump card. Now, it seemed like it was just so. It was a wise choice to escape, but Wang Xian couldn't let them leave. Wang Xian murmured. With a wave of his arm, the stellar field fragment instantly entered the black hole and appeared above the forbidden space. Stellar field seal. Wang Xian waved his arm and a wave of energy entered the stellar field fragment. Stellar field seal activated. Back when this stellar field fragment was in the hands of the experts from the Faith Cosmos, Wang Xian was sealed by them with the stellar field seal for a very long time. The Heaven Yuan Good Fortune fragment and stellar field seal instantly enveloped an area. At the center of the forbidden space, the space Aquarius trembled and gradually disappeared. Wang. In the next instant, the space Aquarius disappeared and performed a long-distance teleportation. However, in the second when the space Aquarius was teleported, an invisible and powerful energy enveloped it. This caused the teleportation to fail. It wasn't teleported to a fixed location, but to the edge of the stellar field fragment. This place was within the coverage of the stellar field fragment. It was also within Wang Xian's senses. Now, he could completely control the power of the entire stellar field fragment. With a thought, he could sense the location of the space Aquarius and control it. The entire forbidden space isn't a match for that demonic beast at all. They are actually fleeing. SSS, the three Laozu of the forbidden space, the master of the forbidden space, and the four Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm experts are no match for that demonic beast. How strong is this demonic beast? Now, the entire forbidden space is actually fleeing. Just now, hundreds of thousands of experts and disciples died in the forbidden space despite the protection of the array. If the battle continues, the entire forbidden space will be destroyed. The strength of this demonic beast is too terrifying. The battle only broke out for 10 minutes, and the entire forbidden space is collapsing. It's too strong. This is unbelievable. Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm experts with space attribute. Why does it feel like the difference between them and that demonic beast is so huge?